And with that, welcome back to the VCT Game Changers EMEA broadcast. My name is Akamask, next to me is the Great Affinity. It's Akamask Affinity. You can nearly say it's a AAA broadcast, 1A missing.
We need one more. We need one more. We need to get third person on, don't we, really? We'll have to find someone for the next couple of games, so maybe. But shall we have a look at what we've got going on today? Because this game was actually meant to happen yesterday. So for everyone coming back, welcome back. Sorry about the delay. There were power outages. We decided best just to reschedule, make sure that everyone could get on. Something like 50% of the power was out for the whole of, was it Turkey? I think it was the whole of Turkey. And that, of course, caused a couple of problems. But we are here now. We are ready. And it is going to be so worth the wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger matchup. We talked about it in Green Room a little bit. And for me, it's probably one of the, if not the best matchup in the group stage. Because it's second place against third place. Probably the closest matchup we will get. And even though G2 is in the other group, it's still like much probably on just on paper. Like we're talking about just assumptions and things on paper. It's probably the closest and highest level matchup in the whole group stage. And it's Falcons vs Giant X, as you already said, rescheduled from yesterday. So the players had a little bit more time to prepare. Still gonna be a banger matchup, I feel like. Like both those teams, incredible aimers, and especially like Mary, absolutely back and had an incredible performance on our first match day. That's probably the player to highlight at the moment.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there. And I'm very interested to see this because there has been a couple of little changes here and there between the seasons. Now, of course, stage 2 concluded with these two giants going head to head with each other in a best of 5. And it was a little bit of I don't want to say landslide. It didn't go quite the full distance there. It was 3-1 over 2, I believe. Falcons did, in fact, take it. But I'd be very curious to see how this is going to line up again, because, of course, we're now back in the best of 3 format for this. They've had a little bit of time to go away to work on stuff. And the map veto, I think, is going to look a little bit different this time.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, with the new map pool, Abyss in the pool, Haven back, it's going to be a lot different compared to the last time those two teams met each other. And it's going to be quite an interesting one, I feel like. Both teams have improved. Both teams took their time, especially Falcons, I feel like, started really getting onto steam in the end of the last split. And especially with Mary coming into their team, it's just a whole different look. And in the end, it's a fight for first place in that Group B. Giant X vs Falcons. Whoever wins this will end week number 1 in first place. The other team kind of in that midfield area of the group.
Yeah, this is a really nice one for them to win, to establish themselves at the top, because these are the top 2 seeded teams. The top 2 are looking to take those positions going on forward. And so if they can take the victory now, suddenly the rest of the season's looking a little bit nicer, a little bit easier. You can jump the big hurdle. It's all going to be smooth sailing after that as well. But to actually take a look at the rosters, the players we're going to be competing in front of you today from both sides here. So first roster that we will be looking at here, Team Falcons Vega. Now, incredibly strong lineup here. If you were to pick out 2 players to say keep your eye on, who are you highlighting?
So obviously we need to talk about most people in the chat will say the GOAT Mary. Came back last split and had an incredible run up from the beginning. Changed the whole course of what Falcons looked like. Falcons had a really slow start to the last split, barely made it into playoffs after Mary rejoined them, and probably one of, if not the best player in VCT Game Changers EMEA currently. And on her side, Matt, both of them just absolutely amazing players. And in the end, you know, the overall team just playing amazing Valorant. And yeah, Mary, out of all of them, 18 first bloods in the last series, only 5 first deaths. That's amazing stats for a duelist.
That's a very difficult one. Losing those opening duels, that's going to be where Giant X start to struggle as well. Putting that player disadvantage looming above them early on looks like it is going to be the aim of the game. But an incredibly strong lineup there. But on the flip side, their fierce opponents, the Giants that they have to try topple, the Giant X roster. Now, this team have a lot of veterans and a lot of experience within game changers as well. So if any team was looking to go toe-to-toe with Falcons Vega, it would be them. And again, I pose you the same question. If you could only look at one player's perspective for the whole match, who would you watch?
Yeah, it's probably the duel of the two flashiest entry duelists in all of VCT Game Changers EMEA. Like, we're always highlighting duelists because they're just having this flashy potential and they're all of a sudden blowing up, but Smurfette versus Mary on paper is just a matchup of, yeah, not only the most flashiest duelist, but probably also the most explosive duelist in the overall VCT Game Changers EMEA scene. Both of them incredible performances, and yeah, a lot will come down to, in my opinion, who's able to find those entries, who will find an opening on those offensive and defensive halves. And yeah, both of them clearly capable of doing that in any given circumstance, but whoever finds it first and finds it more consistently will probably set a great precedent for their whole team.
Absolutely. Now, shall we get into our map veto, our map picks and bans here? Because we got a sneak preview beforehand and we're very excited for this. But as you can see, we're going to have Bind and Ascent removed immediately. Abyss is going to be the first map picked. Then we will see Sunset. Lotus out of the equation, so is Icebox, and that leaves us with Haven, the 3-sighter, to close this all on out. Now, this map veto, a little bit interesting, and I think maybe we were taken a little bit by surprise by the Abyss pick. It's a map that, you know, a lot of teams end up banning quite early on, so we haven't really seen them play it a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a situation where teams either love Abyss or hate it, right? I don't feel like there is something in between. Either you're banning Abyss or you're picking it. You know, you're not like, I don't care about Abyss. So in that situation, we see that map first picked a lot, because if it's not banned, the team will, yeah, we probably have a situation where the team likes to play it and will pick it immediately. We've seen this with ATN over the course of the last few days a lot. For example, who had a good showing on Abyss G2 as well, played Abyss quite a lot. And same goes for GX now. The map was banned against both of those teams in earlier games and the earlier series. So it's the first time we are seeing them on Abyss. So I'm just hyped to see what they cooked up. Afterwards, Sunset, kind of an even situation where teams are not really like, it's not like, for example, Ascent, where you just default to, where you just like, we can play Ascent, everyone can play it. Also, Sunset is a map that's has a lot of complex angles to play around, especially with this huge mid area. And yeah, Haven, kind of more of the default map, like such an old map that came back into the map pool unchanged. I feel like everyone should be playing.
Exactly. Sunset, a map that both teams have showed quite high proficiencies for. However, let us get into the agent selects now, because both of these teams, they might have some interesting stuff. Falcons, they really love to play this Gecko, and there we go. We're seeing it actually picked on the side of Giant X this time around. But I think this is going to be quite interesting. I like that we've got a bit of variety going on here as well. You've got the Astra on the side of Jolina, as opposed to Toki on that Omen. That's going to give us a little bit more variety. And on those maps where there's the thinner areas, and Astra actually now has a lot of impact with more than just the smokes. I think this is quite a nice lineup for Giant X. Falcons Vega, they're keeping it pretty standard here.
I like the Gecko. That's probably the biggest surprise for me, that they are not playing either Sova or KO, but the Gecko together with the Breach. That's something new for me for the side of Giant X, especially combined with the Astra. Interesting comp from their side. I actually like it. Like, I think Gecko is really, really underrated on Abyss. Like, lower play rate than other agents and other initiators especially. But I think Gecko can't do no wrong on any map, right? It's an agent that, especially when you come into angles where you have those close corners, those close corridors, Fresh has just great options to play around. You can plant a spike with Wingman over long distances and afterwards play from those main areas because they are really, really open. I like the Gecko on the map, both jets on duelists. We Where G2 more pivoting into the Yoru, but no surprise from here. Smurfette, Jet, the goat of Jet, Turkish Jets. We talk about them a lot, we have to say. And Mary, on the other hand, also a great player, as we highlighted more than just enough.
Exactly. I'm quite interested to see this because Falcons, during stage 2, they really like to run this double initiator, which can be quite scary. And we talked about, you know, some of the entry stats that we've seen from these players. Having that ability to have that flashy, fast ability to break into these sites is going to be crucial for them as well. But I think Falcons make it. They've got a nice comp to try sort of go against this and try stop some of that early aggression. Very curious to see how this one will play out, of course. Giant X starting on defense. Yeah. Any thoughts on that being the comp starting on defense with that? Because Gecko on defense has been up for debate a little bit.
It has, like, Gecko is probably a better attack than defense agent. I mean, Wingman on the defuse is somewhat hard to deal with, especially when you try to play a lot off the spike, off the side. When you try to spam from main, then the Wingman on the defuse is just something that's really, really hard to deal with. But other than that, Gecko utility is most of the time a retake tool, right? Especially compared with Breach, where you can just stall out the enemies a little bit more. If they get a fault line, they can't execute onto side. That's just, you know, you can just stall out and execute. Gecko can't really do that. Yes, Dizzy, great for information as well. Especially for early information, because you can just repick it up. Kind of similar to the Solar Dart cooldown. Still not the best agent on defense, but I'm like, you should be fine with that. There's a little bit of a different comp identity, in my opinion. You talked about those aggressive entries from the side of Mary. More information gives you more options to find entry windows for your duelist. And I think that's something Falcons really want to play around.
Yeah, I think also the Gecko, we talked about it being a really nice pick. It's something that Falcons themselves last stage ran a lot on a lot of different maps. So maybe, you know, the excitement that we're seeing from it might be countered very easily because, you know, to counter it, you have to play it yourself and they are familiar with their enemy. But let us see how this one plays on out. Pistol round, it does look heavy B presence there as well, but it is a stacked site that they are heading towards.
Yeah, kinda fighting into that strong side mid has been left clear from the side of Giant X. Just a Cypher cam right there to maybe spot an onslaught. Slow game start from Falcons.
Is now the creep back around through mid is coming on through. That camera is going to be pivotal, and if they can take it down before it's able to find much information, that'll be crucial. And this is where it's going to be just a matter of waiting on the edges.
We spot them so late. But now they know. Spotted the duelist.
Now they've got to figure out what to do. Dashing on in is Mary, trying to spam away, not able to get the first kill, and they've managed to rally the troops here. But Madby manages to get 2 back-to-back shots. That's going to open up the site. Eva's found one of her own, and suddenly empty site. The rotates. They've taken a second to come through. Large map here, and that spike is going to go down now. Knife is going to be destroyed, and that is a lot of information in and of itself here. Retake slowly coming on through, but this post plant so well established.
Yeah, just holding the sides, and the strong side has been flooded, has been overtaken by Falcons. 2 versus 5. Really hard for you to pull off, especially with the spike planted from main this way. Madby makes it a triple kill, and Mary as well, getting in on the action. Falcons, great start, flawless in their first blister round.
No complaints there as well. That's how you like to see it. Madby with a double kill to open all of this up causes so much problems because they had a really strong defense there. It's dismantled in a matter of seconds, and then suddenly sight is completely theirs for the taking. Rotates really far away as you kind of expect them to be. But now Giant X on the back foot. They're not really going to be able to put too much into this. We do see single bought up weapon, and that will need to find something a little bit of impact. Unfortunately, yeah. I have a feeling located in the wrong place right now.
Sandra finds that opening on her log. Yori already down. And with that, they're chasing behind. Toki might find some damage. Batoki still survived this one. Paranoia to get out of the situation. Just holds an angle. And Jolina through the smoke. Batoki stays the winner of that fight. Sandra as well. And with that, most of Giant X already dismantled off. Only Sarah and Smurfette still alive. Trying to push that through mid. Gets one frag. Batoki trades it out. The sniper rifle last in play for Smurfette, but 1 versus 4 might be a little hard to pull off.
Yes, this is a difficult one. Not the right weapon for the situation, especially with Mary holding that angle so diligently. Falcon's second round, it's clean, only losing 1 person in the midst of all that. That is a very good round there. These conversions, you want to keep them clean because that's the goal. Losing it should never really be on the cards for you. You got to play it safe. You got to play it and minimize casualties, minimize what you're going to allow your opponents to gain economy-wise and start building up in the background there. But yeah, this is a bonus round now.
Yeah, it's a bonus round, but like the rifles on the side of Falcons are really good. Like it's a really great bonus round. We have double Bulldog, which are fine. You have 2 Vandals and a Guardian in hand, so that's really winnable for the side of Falcons. I like that Giant X now mixes up the mid play. I wasn't the biggest fan of the camera in the first place, where they, you know, sort of played around the late round information. Miori, this time earlier in the round, opens things up. First frag suddenly falls for Giant X, and one of the Vandals already out of play, but Madvi gets in on the action herself.
That is an absolutely luscious shot to be hitting there as well. And it's peeled over some of the rotates. They've started heading on over towards A, very worried about that split from mid. However, that's not where the trouble is looming. Miori looks away on the camera at just the wrong second to see anyone peeking on out. Falcons happy to wait for that null command to come on through, and there it is, just trying to clear it out even further. Mary spamming through the smoke, and Jolianne is trying to find something, anything, just desperately hiding, dodging utility left, right, and center, still suppressed. No information. That smoke fades and suddenly out in the open, but they don't expect her to be as close as she is. However, Mary straight to the head, bullet to the dome, and now reinforcements, they are here. Mary dodging the flash, gets the first, lines up for the second, gets it as well. Sarah trying to piece together something. It's a 1v3, and that spike is ticking. Backing away slowly, has a clear exit if they just want to save this weapon, and that looks like what the plan is.
Yeah, in the end, they're just holding their side off too clean. Mary, right up there with Eva, holding the backside. Nobody comes near the spike, and turning around the whole thing after losing the first frag towards Miori. Falcons winning bonus as well, and as I said at the beginning of the round, like the weapons were good for a bonus round. They had double Bulldog, double Vandal, and a Guardian. With all of those weapons, you can frag out. You know, if you find the right angles and click heads, it's just as good as have full weaponry. The drone here absolutely crucial for me. If Jolina finds a better timing, this round might be over sooner than later. I like that Giant X mixed up the mid positioning, because this is a map that has really, really long rotations. You can't really count on that to come in time. So some earlier informations, something you really, really want to have on the defensive side. But Falcons now, quick orientation towards that A side.
There's not much weaponry for them to try defend us with. This drone going to be crucial. Spots a lot of information. Mary managing to get themselves out of dodge as well as they cannot dodge the flashbang. DivE, however, is on the run. The team crawling on over towards B. We talked about these long rotates, and here's one coming on through. Unfortunately, Giant X, they're a little bit behind the gun. If Giant X can keep a move on and keep Falcons at bay, they might be able to prevent a plant, but that is going to be the call to just retreat. They've already decided the post plant is where they want to play here. And these smokes just locking them out of the sight. If they choose to disrespect them, only problems await them. Flash dodge, Mary lining up the shots, not able to find anything. Sarah, Toki go eye for eye. It's DivE that's the difference maker there as well. And now the flash round the corner. Smurfette gets lucky with the classic. Sandra, immediate answer. DivE still going for more. And Jolina left alive once more to try clutch this one on out. And exit this time even more difficult. DivE has got their flank covered.
Flank is covered in the end. The superior weapons reign in that round. Falcons on the map pick of Giant X looking quite strong. Smurfette now on the operator. This might change up some things. But still, Falcons up 4-0. The best start that they could hope for. Just really want to get that first place in Group B. Just for the seeding overall. Just to get a later fight with G2.
Exactly.
They really want to have the rematch of the last finals.
This is going to be a very important round. Smurfette being able to get the opt-out so early, hopefully is going to be the difference maker, and they really need it to be as well. This will be a crucial round for them to win. It would help stabilize their economy. It would put the alt economy in a little bit of a nice situation here as well. It's going to have to be a peel away. Have a little bit of a nosy towards B, but mid is the location. Smurfette, lovely shot, backs away. Has the information that more is coming, calls that over to the team there. It's going to be Eva with the dart to try find something a little bit more. That's going to allow Toki to push on forward. And so much space taken.
So much space taken, but Smurfette finds the opening. That's what I already said. The operator might change up a few things, but Sandra on her luck at least finds another frag, but Miori does her the same thing. Mary down and no first executes ready for the side of Falcons. Miori. Just great start into that round. Double kill for her. Sarah as well finds the lurk. And Eva all on her own now. 1 versus 4. And now they are aware of her positioning as well. Tries to get the spike plant as well for the economy, but Sarah closes it out. And Giant X finally on the board.
That's a good one to be winning. Losing any more rounds after that, it's starting to slip through your hands, the map here. But that opening pick from Smurfette, absolutely huge. And the fact that she doesn't stay around to try find a little bit more. It would have been so easy to try go for that repeat, try be a little bit greedy, but the fact that they're going to rely on the team, peel away, and just rely on your instincts that they are going to walk into you after that, because they have to then make a move. You've pushed them, they push back. And that is the way to get it done. Mary Ness, not even sure where that bullet came from, probably. And now suddenly, in the first second of a round, huge disadvantage here. And we talked about Falcons, their ability to get those opening picks and then convert off the back of them as well.
Wild peak from Mary. Finding this frag is just absolutely incredible. Great opening up and instant noise cancel, Falcons. Just want to lure out some rotations. Want to dwindle down the patience of Giant X. When the smoke goes down, it might be a little fight right here. Julina. Incredible pick around. Finds Mary. No more jet executes available. But they are moving off the A side, so the noise cancel worked out, but drone comes in too early, maybe.
That's a slight problem. Locked out of sight, and now that's going to cause issues because suddenly full sight and the ability to get a post-plant. Harris trying to line up the spam for default. Doesn't quite get it, however, it's close. Going to be taken down as a consequence now, and Eva very worried that maybe they had doubled up their up in tower, but alas, no. Miori, this is a difficult angle. This crossfire, so difficult to clear. Both of these angles need to be hard checked, and there's the first. Clears it, isolates the fight, going for more, and Miori is slowly dismantling this piece by piece. Jolina still kicking as well, and suddenly this is quite doable, but Sandra has the angle and has the plant for them. They don't know where she is. She can just line it up, but the adjustment, the kill is impeccable, and there's time to spare.
Smurfette moves on the right situation, and a little bit of unlucky for Sandra. If she finds a frag on Smurfette, this round is really doable for Falcons. But Smurfette moves out of the way in the right situation at the right second. And Falcons loses 2 in a row. Suddenly it's getting better for the side of Giant X. Losing 4 rounds in a row, but kind of starting the comeback at the right second. And ever since Smurfette has that operator in their hands, things get better for Giant X. Falcons.
They've got lots of ults online, and this is the final round that they're going to be able to buy. They are probably going to have to go for something a little bit economically cheaper the next round if they lose this. So this one, Falcons would probably really like to win here, because if they lose this suddenly, Giant X, perfect position to tie this up. But there comes the Hunter's Fury. No Command also going to be sounding out through the server. Miori with the first pick there as well. And now Sight, there's Plant, safe. Jolina still hiding in the smoke. So incredible at finding these hiding spots, these tiny pockets. And MadV fully stunned, doesn't matter. Smurfette not even able to scope in there. Sandra, an absolutely lovely pick. MadV gets the first, dodging around the wall here as well to meet up with Eva. Molotov to stop anyone pushing her, putting that space between them. Actually going to push her own Molotov. They tried to send in Wingman to defuse, hoping that the wall would disguise it, but it doesn't work. And now Miori left in the clutch once again. Location known. Tries to peek through the wall as it fades, gets the kill, but look at that. Eva ready to keep it calm, cool, and collected, and saves the team's bacon from what was almost another incredible Miori clutch there.
MadV with all the confidence in the world, swinging through the world divided. That flash was amazing. Finds the Gecko, and everything started so good for Giant X, but then MadV running through her own molly finds that frag, and Miori with a triple on her own, but doesn't quite convert it. Falcons gets round number 5, and that's a timeout for Giant X. They kind of need to pull it right now.
Yes, I think this is a really nicely placed timeout because they're at a sort of a precipice here. Because they lose anything else, Falcons is now got the upper hand, or is at the very, very worst case scenario going into the second half, even at the top of the on the top of the scoreboard. So that's something I want to try avoid. They've got 3 ultimates online, and they have the money this round to have a buy to support them. This is where they have the resources. They need to figure out how to expend them correctly, because they could break Falcons' economy quite easily here. A couple of these players aren't sat on a great deal of money, and of course they've expended a lot of ultimates themselves. This could be a turning point for them if they wanted it to be. They need it to.
I kind of want Giant X to just look for a first frag and afterwards play for the retake with the Gecko ultimate, right? Fresh is so good in enabling those retakes, especially on A side. Like, just give Falcons the side, give them the space to plant a spike, and afterwards play this one out in a retake scenario. But other ideas from Giant X finds one with the Fresh. Smurfette aggressive go, but looks into 3 rifles. No dead just yet. Just some sprays here and there. But no frags falling down as well. Lurk has been spotted for Toki. No dead collected, but Toki survives on 5 HP. Miori low as well. A lot of fires, a lot of utility invested, but no kills on board either side.
There's so much to break down here. The fact that Thrash managed to find one, but they'd already bodyguarded MadV there, so that even though they were suppressed, they were safe, is incredible, because they get information out of the ultimate. They can't find too much more. The fact that managing to escape on 5 health is crazy. The fact that Toki lives there is pressure that Falcons can keep applying. And Giant X, they've got to be worried, and that spray they've got to be worried on that front as well. That should have been a clean, easy shot. Back was turned. MadV is going to find the kill there. Here's the jump up. Jolina ready to fight for some more. Only good for 1, however. Sight going to fall once again. And yet again, we have a retake on our hands.
But the Gecko ultimate has been used already. So not the best retaking tools for the side of Giant X, especially with the spike plant that's so spammable from the main. You can just play it out from danger, no matter if there are smokes or not. The flash is great, stops the wingman from defusing, and Giant X doesn't quite get to the spike. Toki's lurk coming through as well will be crucial. They're not hearing it. They stopped the defuse. Double kill Toki, and Falcons gets another round. Toki's map movement absolutely flawless. And Giant X falls apart once again. No foot in the door. Momentum just totally on the side of Falcons.
So much going on there. They were so good at defending that plant. They were defending it from being diffused, sorry. And it was just every piece of that breach utility being used to just delay them further, to stop them getting close enough to the spike to be able to defuse it as well. Just absolutely incredible that they managed to keep hold of enough utility throughout the round there to keep it under control now. Smurfette with the Blade Storm here. We've seen them killing it on the AWP recently, but now not able to afford that luxury. The team is going for broke, and I would have thought maybe not the round you'd want to use the Blade Storm on, but gives them that little bit of firepower to maybe find some opening picks and find a bit of space. Unfortunately, taken down immediately as Mary doubles up and doubles down. MadV jumping around the corner, tries to get it with the right click, isn't going to be successful, but the kill does eventually come on through. They've not been able to recover any weapons either, Giant X. Mary, not content, taking the fight to them here. Is overwhelmed there by the double sheriffs. And that does open up some opportunities and the scooped up Vandal.
Mary can a little bit of overheating, but it's fine. She creates a lot of space for her team to plant a spike, get onto B side. And finds the information on all of the enemies. Sandra spreads herself out again. With that, it's only Sarah. Known by attacked by the drone. And it will be hard to play out against both of those players. Toki in the end finds another frag. Round number 7 for Falcons. It's looking good, especially considering it's the map pick of Giant X we are on. And Falcons just seems to be the better team right now. Kinda rushes over their opponents at this point.
Yes.
5 rounds ahead, and Giant X doesn't find the speed, kind of speed that you want to have on this particular map.
Especially on a map that you picked as well. We said we were a little bit curious about this being where they wanted to take the veto, but we assumed maybe there was a plan. Falcons, however, they seem more than pleased with themselves and their goal here. Smurfette, back on the op. Having a look in mid once again. So much information has seen absolutely nothing, and the fact that over towards B, nothing's been heard yet either. They've not really got the utility to scope out any further. They do just have to wait for them to walk into their traps on that site. However, X over on A, trouble is waiting for them.
Kind of running into the stronger side of Giant X, but everyone is powerless. Mary on site, and Eva already finds Ness. Not the best of games for her. Falcons once again with the opening. They're on site, and that spike plant is so spammable, so rough to retake for Giant X. Even now the null command's running out. Still a rough feat to pull off for Giant X. Fault line in hand, no ultimates. That really helps you in that retake situation. Falcons, with all the patience in the world, just waits it out in the main area.
Now, it could very easily be them getting trapped out there. That smoke is going to cause them a little bit of issues. They do just have to hope and wait on that spam. But Smurfette looking to be proactive in all of this. Peeks through the smoke in a massively confident move. Switches to the sidearm, gets one. Eva with another as well. But Miori taken down by the Molotov and spammed out of the round by the Vandal. And Falcons, you know, they tried so hard to keep them away, and they end up relying a little bit on that utility. Smurfette making an incredible play there, causing a little bit of worry. Last Giant X, they just cannot get themselves in these situations. The close punts have been so strong from Falcons. We need to see them trying to stop it going down a little bit more. They seem to be very confident in their ability to retake. They're very happy to peel away and not stick and fight for that site, even when they have, you know, the stack on the site, the correct side there. The retakes just aren't working. I'd love to see them take the fight to them and just try to stop that plant going down.
A little bit more of a proactive play, a little bit more of side holding. From their side, Mary already aggressive positioning. The flash is great, but Ness finds a frag. Kills of Mary, only a trade on the side of Falcon. Sandra falls to the gun of Jolina, the only bigger rifle in the mix for that Giant X lineup. A great opening from Mary, doesn't lead to anything else. Trying to walk into middle. Still the better weapons in hand for that Falcons lineup. We'll reunite with Toki there.
The issue that they have here is that there's absolutely nothing going on in mid. And I think they're starting to converge on this, and they could just pin to them, keep them trapped in mid. But MadV with a double kill back to back like that, that's where the issues come. And Toki wants to keep this party going as well. Gonna hide in the smoke, completely dodging the flash there, and Ness pushing on forward. Knows they have to be here. Knows that if they are going to push the smoke, it'll be through the corner. And the timing, they just miss it as well. Paranoia coming on through, and it funnels them directly into Mad V. The sheepdog leading them to their demise.
Last round before the switch.
And we go into the final round at the half. Falcons looking so strong. And even in situations where maybe pinch it a little bit in mid, they are backed into a corner and they get more dangerous.
It's okay, Matt B. You don't have to make all of us look like we are bronze 1. Like, what an incredible shot. I hope that we're getting this one in a replay as well. Like, what a shot from Matt B. Here it is. Sorry. Like,
you hear about op flicks.
Unreal shot.
You hear about op flicks. You ever seen a Guardian flick before?
No, that's just an unreal shot from Matt V. Like, incredible what she's doing here. Finds that kill. And with that, basically securing the round for Falcons. Like, 15-5 as already. Matt V. Still an amazing and incredible player for that Falcons lineup. And it seems like the more Falcons plays together in that constellation, the better they are getting. The more firepower is coming their way. And they're here to challenge G2 at the end of the year. Great positioning by Sarah. The corner keeps to be unchecked. Ness and Sarah just cleaning up middle to keep up their hopes in the second half.
My ultimate is ready.
Togi now has the ultimate online, immediately going to expend it. They're going to pick up the spike, and that gives them a little bit of an opportunity to figure out what they want to do now. But they've only got 30 seconds, and that A site way too far away for them to get to. And I think it looks like they are going to try leg it over there. It's going to be close, and I unfortunately don't think the timing's going to work out, especially with that advanced position from Smurfette. That's going to be worrisome. Lining up the shots. No, they have to come on through. The paranoia is perfect. The smoke to try buy some space, some distance as well. Gets the kill. The spike goes down as well. And there's the stun. There's no way that it can get onto site. There is absolutely nothing that can be done. Expending everything in the kitchen sink. And that is going to be the half. The rotate. I think the wrong call there. They didn't have the time. They didn't have a clear pathway.
At least there is round number 3. For Giant X, they still have a chance to turn this one around, right? With 10-2, it's always kind of hard to expect them to turn it around in any way. But with 9-3, it's all still possible for Giant X, especially going onto that attacker side. It tends to fall a little sharper, a little better here on Abyss. It's still early in the history of that map, but tech seems to be the call to go, and Falcons did a great job already. It comes down to that pistol round, in my opinion. If Giant X loses out on this one, it will be even harder to come by and to challenge Falcons. Afterwards, we are going into their map pick. May I add to this?
Giant X. Worry probably starting to seep in right about now. And I like this. They've got a lot of presence in mid here. They haven't just trusted the camera. Now that the camera's gone, that's been something that they've held solo mid with, and might be a bit of a misleading misinput there for Giant X, knowing that the camera's now gone, and that's usually all they have defending mid, but...
They're running into the strong side. Falcons had the right read. 3 people to one side, and Mary finds Smurfette. Pushes her out of the equation. Wingman's coming through, trying to get the plant. Matty trades herself out, and Mary with another one. Game changes. Sheriff is here to stay and comes through Jolina. At least finds Toki, but the queen herself, Mary, still alive.
That spike is in a really uncomfortable position for them to try and retrieve as well. But I was going to say, yeah, game changers and Sheriff clips. Name a more iconic combo. And Jolina's managed to find a crazy little timing here. Gets both, lines them up, going for the ace here. Only Sandra left. They're going to jump up. Spotted. The head not quite able to. Can only count to 4. And now Miori just has to sit and wait. The spike is available. Taps it. Tries to bait out the shot and gets it indeed. Perfectly played. It had to be one or the other. If that fake had not worked, that timer would have been running low. but they get it done, and it's beautiful.
They only count. Jolina only counts to 4. It all starts with Mary and ends with Jolina. Incredible play by her side. Miori in the air converts the round. Giant X, important round to get, if I may add this one. If they lose it, then it's gonna be a rough beat to pull it off in any way. 10-3, always a standing you don't want to find yourself in, but now all of the cards on deck for Falcons Vega, for Giant X. Falcons, on the other hand, still a comfortable position, even if they lose that next round. They are 2 game changer sheriffs in hand, Madvi and also Mary.
Akamusk, do you believe in the 9-3 curse?
Who doesn't?
That's the right question.
Like, who doesn't believe in that 9-3 curse?
This is how it always starts. You win the pistol. That's how the 9-3 curse gets you.
Like, 9-3 is always a result. It's just... It looks great on the outside, obviously, but most maps in Valorant tend to fall a little sided, and in those 9-3 situations, if you win the pistol round on your stronger side, at some point it just starts to tend to fall backwards, especially maps like, for example, Breeze, where, you know, it's really, really sided, and 9-3 is an okay result, because I mean, you're in a situation where we have to win pistol rounds. There's no talking around this one. But 9-3 curse, still very real and kicking. Smurfette is trying to make this one real for Falcons. Spike already planted, a lot of space taken, but they want to play it for main, not on the side as well, so let the opponent come to your side.
They've put all of their eggs in the main basket here as well. It's a difficult position for Giant X to retake here, though. They have the ability and utility to do so, however. Smurfette has the aim. Sarah as well. They're desperately trying to spam. They've got the smoke to try cover it, but what they weren't expecting is for their location to be highlighted for all to see. Miori running on out. They weren't going to stay in main. They're bringing the fight to them. Runs out of bullets out in the open, and that's a recipe for disaster. And now there's nothing really that can be done. That spike too far gone, and now it's just getting the hell out of dodge. And unfortunately for Falcons, that is not an option.
Both executing at the spike, not giving up more ultimate points than needed. Round falls for Giant X, and also no real weapon loss for their side. 3 rifles, like, look at the bonus rounds, so to say. It more looks like a full buy round with some limited options here and there. 3 Bulldogs, 2 Vandals. This is certainly winnable. Especially with 2 players on Falcons playing on small shields, turning it to 3 as well. 9-3 curse might be in place.
It's real, and it's out to get all of us. Pokey, I like the play here, choosing that off angle. He's going to be stunned, but has safety right now. Does choose to escape, however, give up that advanced position. And
it's just
wait.
It's just too exposed right there to really make an impact. The position of Miori could also tip the scales. Finds Eva, but no in the middle. So that lurk won't have the biggest value anymore. Eva, I don't know if she saw the rotation, because she kind of has to call it at some point. A lot of space taken in the middle.
Right there.
This is a very interesting round. It's been very, very slow here. Mid has been left relatively unguarded. This tripwire is going to be the call to action. It'll be a matter of breaking it and then trying to burst onto site. The 2 happen concurrently. There comes the fault line, clearing out every single angle. Mary gets the first. Eva gets one of their own. Mary going for a little bit more as well. She is hungry. And now look at this. It's just Joelina left. Location known. Number taken. And now life on the balance. And that is going to be the kill. That is going to be the round breaker. And that gets them on to double digits.
Normal Tuesday for Mary. And making it a full house with Eva. Incredible defense from Falcons. Like, the tripwire, you said as much. It was the call to action. They had all the information in the world because timer was ticking down. They only had 30 seconds left. And once the tripwire was broken, it was clear that they will play B execute over from middle. And Mary, great positioning, can just hold the crossfire together with Eva, and in the end, Giant X falls apart as quickly as the round has started. Tempo mix up from Mary.
The mechanical is what is making it for these teams as well. Is that we can talk all about team play and compositions, but sometimes you look at the individuals and just their pure mechanical aim. And it's things like that that are setting Falcons apart right now. Ooh, and talking of it, that's a perfect example. Miori, so incredible, has been doing everything that she can to try get these rounds on the board. The impact percentage must be crazy this map. But continuing on forward, not content with all that she has done so far. There is the Neural Theft coming on out, and that's going to give them a little bit of idea where the weaknesses are. They can see a heavy stack over towards A, so immediately they go sprinting B.
Yeah, weak side is exposed, but Sandra plays it smart, in my opinion. Plays towards her wire. Just no tricking around and waiting for reinforcements to come in. As I already said, Abyss is a map with incredibly long rotations, but Falcons already there. Once the spike plant is down, Falcons are in a position to retake this one. And it's in an even situation. Molly coming from Matt B, still trying to stop that wingman from planting the spike. Sandra finds an opening, but Julina trades this one out. They haven't positions now, but will they find Ness? Aim is clean. Finds Otoki in the heaven, and it's only down to Eva and Matt V. Only one of the two top fraggers for Falcons. Eva finds the damage, but the spike should be spammable from that long area. Should be spammable from danger, but they know jump spot will reveal that nobody's on it. Eva holds the angle, but it falls to Miori. And now it's gonna be so hard for Matt B. Finds the headshot. Will she halve this one? Would be important, but now Miori closes it out. And with that, Giants on 6. They keep themselves alive.
That's such a lovely position. Having two people left alive there applies so much pressure. You could double swing and try get the kill immediately, but I like that they fed in one by one. A player that they were willing to honestly just sacrifice to make sure that it was definitely a fake. To try get the kill if they were even trying to stick it, because that timer getting so low there as well. Yeah. And then just having the contingency plan, knowing that after the first player peaks, even if they die, they have that secondary, and that timer would be too low if they try and go for another kill. But beautifully played there from Giant X. They keep getting themselves into difficult situations, and yes, they're starting to get rounds on the board, but it feels like these rounds have been a lot closer than they necessarily should have been. Although having said that, Spike already down. They've been really hot on these quick side takes.
A quick side take with the wall divided. And Smurfette in a position to just spray this one out.
Here.
Spike again planted for danger. It's so hard to re-clear this area. The post plans on that side of the map, incredibly hard to play. Monster on the loose, but finds nobody. The flash of Madby doesn't come perfectly, but Smurfette in the smoke. Perfect timing for her. And the second frag of the round, Madby can only trade one out, and also Miori is already there. Sarah clears it up. And Miori closes out the round. Madby falls, and with that, Falcons only 3 rounds ahead. And should be on an eco round.
That post plant was incredible. They had backup plans on their backup plans, right? And you see that Jolina has the star there. She uses the vacuum to pull them off the plant and directly into where she has lined up that Odin shot. She buys the expensive gun, which puts her at a disadvantage for the beginning of the round. They needed that quick sight take because it's not a gun that's particularly great at helping take these sights. It's a little bit heavy, a little bit bulky. She just sits back, lines up the shot, and waits for it, and she just stays safe the whole time. Incredible play. I love it. Very smart. Very demure.
Very demure. Very good one. Pull this one out deep from the playbook.
Here.
Mary finds a trade of herself in middle. That's fine in an eco round, but your knives are out of play right now. Only sheriffs in hand. But you know, sheriffs are kind of a full buy in game changers. So this might be still another option for Falcons to win the round.
Spike dropped.
But we have to see, especially the Odin buy is always a risk because you can't really lurk with a Cypher on it, right? Lurking is always a thing where you have to be mobile, where you have to be flexible on your movement, and that Odin just stops them from being this way. Smurfette already on site. The aim is so clean, so crisp, but Toki, same can be said about her. Biori crashes through the smoke and finds Toki. No more smokes for the side of Falcons, and the spike has been planted. Incredibly hard retake.
This is a difficult one. Player disadvantage, weapon disadvantage. This might just be a matter of going for casualties there as well. But the recon bolt does spot one. That's a little bit of information. They know that the one is hiding behind the boxes. That's the second person spotted. Assuming that they have the crossfire over in main, this is now slightly more worrisome for them. But this defuse, they've got a line of sight directly to it. All they have to do is wait, and there's nothing really Eva can do here. It's got to be 2 clean shots, and they are just not going to feed into her. Not going to give her the satisfaction.
They're not giving them. They're not giving Eva the shots. Now, if that spike explodes, Falcons, important round coming up for them. They can't let Giant X get any closer if they want to win this round in convincing fashion. Like, Giant X at a point where it's really, really likely that they make the comeback happen. Especially if they win that next round, it's basically an equalizer, right? And that's why the timeout comes out at the perfect timing, in my opinion. Like, this round will determine if we're going into, you know, this might be overtime territory.
Oh, gosh.
Or it would be a perfect start for our casting block, in my opinion. Or if Falcons might be able to pull off the take of the enemy's map, right? Because if you win this one, it's 11-8, and Falcons 2 rounds before winning, they're in a great position. Distance is established again. If they lose out on this one, it will be another eco round, and Giant X equalizes. And afterwards, it's going to be hard feat for Falcons to pull it off and come back again.
I think my oh god is more born out of the fact that Falcons have probably got to be looking at this. They lose this, it goes equal, and they go, how did this happen after the lead we had, after the first half that we had, where we were just clearly the dominant force? Something in the halftime break switched on for Giant X. Maybe their monitors, maybe it was just a little bit more cohesion going on to the side that they actually prefer, the more dominant side on this map, attacking. But ultimates available on both sides. This is going to be a scrappy round because I think both teams realize that this is the turning point, the linchpin of the map.
Here.
Yes, you already said the linchpin of that map. Just overall an important sequence of event right now for both teams. And they're both aware, like they 100% know what this round is meaning. Ultimates on deck for Giant X. They have the Rolling Thunder to get on site to kind of find the victory. On the other hand, Hunter's Fury to stop a plant, as well as the null command on retake. A lot of options on the table for both teams, and it seems to be a B hit once again. They especially Falcons struggle to hold that B side a lot, but off your feet, Rolling Thunder is coming through. Mary finds an opening. Smurfette, this time you're not in the right place. This time your timings doesn't fit. And Mary finds that opening. Hunter's Fury comes through as well. No spike plant. And with that, Giant X needs to retake that side.
That they do. The tables have turned, and I've not seen a kill happen very often there. Gecko's Molly usually it has a warning sign that it's going to happen. Maybe just wrong timing, not quite able to escape into the corner. Very worried about somebody elsewhere, but that's not a kill that you really wanted to give on over there. Mary looking on over, trying to clip these angles, but everyone's just tucked out of the way. There we go. There's the third kill on to Miori that opens up and relieves the pressure. Jelena, Paranoia gonna kill her, but she gets an incredible kill whilst fully blinded, still trying to fight her way, but out in the open, dogpiled from all angles. Half there, but going to allow Toki to get the final point needed for her ultimate. And that is a lovely round from Falcons. We talked about them being on the precipice of this map. And that's the round that really determines and really sets them up to try take this victory.
All the paths lead to Mary. Finds that opening frag onto Smurfette, which is incredibly important. She thought that she had the frag there, right? That was kind of wild. But yeah, all paths on that map lead to Mary. Incredible first track, opens things up so widely for the side of Falcons with fragging out Smurfette. Spike goes down because you have that Hunter's Fury to just shut down the plant. No more ultimates available that are real high impact for Giant X. Let's see how they want to approach that next round, because it's going to be, again, an important one to not let Falcons get on to match point. Also, the economy doesn't look that great, especially after Julina bought up again. They might have their last buy of the map if they lose this one. So Giant X needs to win it here.
Yep, this is a must-win round for them. That all-important 13th round is starting to loom. And now we are coming off the back of timeout. Everyone's getting ready, shuffling around the map. Camera placed down. Just trying to flank watch for them a bit there. Now Falcons, they've stacked very heavily over towards B. This looks like they are wanting to bring the fire. Paranoia straight through, and they are getting aggressive. And this might be a little bit of a worry. Jolina, gotta be ready for this. Gets the kill. Gets the kill. Doesn't get the kill. Mary, Toki both get one. There is a trade, but it's not quite even. And now this is slightly worrisome because they have, you know, they've pushed them completely off site.
I must wait.
Sandra needs to hold the fort down here. If she can get one, that's amazing. Buys time for the team to rotate. She can get more than one, has single-handedly won this round for the team. Smurfette, lovely jump up and aggression. Sandra taken on down. And there we go, Falcons. They've bought a little bit of time, but that spike is going to go down.
Off the back of Toki's incredible TP play, finds a frag, even though GX was really, really aware of her positioning. But are they checking Smurfette? That, for me, is the important part right now. Smurfette in a position, backline positioning that might swing that round. Smurfette peaks at the right time, but Eva and Mary are there. Mary just clears it up from main, and with that, Falcons on match point on the enemy map pick. What an incredibly team performance from those two. Picking up the Odin as well. Mary back onto the Vandal. And no problems for Falcons cleaning this one up. Aim just too steady.
They let them get a couple of rounds just for the plot, just to pad out the game a little bit, but they are back on the form we saw them in the first half right now. Gotta see that continue up, because it's only one more round, but Smurfette has the Blade Storm available. He is wielding that Marshall right now. Miori does have Neural Theft, however, not quite sure how useful that information is going to be. You know that your enemies have you outgunned, and you know where they are, you just know where the death is waiting for you, but maybe they can piece something together here. If they can try grab a couple more ult orbs, they might have some of those snazzy ults available to them.
Oh, you already said some old orbs available, but you kinda have to give it over to Julina. World Divided could help in at least getting the spike onto site. Slow build up by Giant X. Wanna explode on one side. At the exact second, Smurfette just helps out Julina getting that orb. We talked about it. Well, Divided is important here.
Thrash isn't too far offline as well, so potentially if they can secure this round, or at least, well, they have to secure this round, of course. This is it. This is for the game. They can get 2 kills. They might be able to get that Thrash online as well and just scrap it on out. Left. I think Ness looking around the edge. Toki spots everything coming out. Flashbang is not even going to back away there. Bladestorm can absolutely nail her. And now, Mad V trying to put up a fight, just goes ham, goes crazy, trying to go through the wall, but only good for one, an eye for an eye, and unfortunately they're at a disadvantage now. And Spike has been planted. Thrash now online. Wall is coming down, but they have got so much on their side here. Flashbang is going to cause some problems because that gives Thrash a bit more room to work, but not going to find anything with it just yet there. Mary having a look. Finds the first, pops her own Blade Storm there as well. And the bullets, they fly, and now it is just Jolena pushed so far off the angle that there's no way that she can defend this, and the spike safe to be diffused here as well, and just brilliant retake coming on through.
Spike diffused.
Falcons takes the
Defenders
map pick
win.
of Giant X off of them. What an incredible performance, especially on those retake scenarios. And the aim is just as steady as ever. Giants lose out their own map pick is really, really rough for them, in my opinion. Especially since the next map coming up is Sunset, picked by Falcons. And it really didn't seem like Giant X can keep up with the aim. I talked about it within the broadcast. You know, the longer this Falcons lineup plays together, the better they get, and just amazing gameplay all over the board. I really enjoy seeing them play together and enjoy them, you know, coming together as this powerhouse lineup to challenge G2.
Yep, and I think they are definitely going to be one of the front runners who contend G2. If anyone can do it, it's them, and especially after, you know, they had a little bit of a problem at the start of the second half there, but the first half and the end of that second half was incredible. The raw firepower we saw as well. But I think we might have some stats available to have a look at here as well. Miori on the side of Giant X. I sung their praises. They put up such a fight. The impact that they were having was incredible, but unfortunately not enough to get them enough rounds to take this any further. However, on the other side, Mary on the Jet. The aggressive peaks, the opening picks, the just quite frankly nutty shots that she was hitting to provide those openings for the rest of the team to flourish is amazing.
341 ACS, 8 first frags. Overall, Mary just amazing once again. Just kind of rushes over the enemy team. Like just Giant X, every opener Falcons gets, they transitioned around. Nearly every post plant converted, and that's just, you know, overall incredible discipline that they're showing us right here, right? 9 out of 10 post plants just converted for their side, especially. Like, we can't highlight Mary enough. All of those first frags, especially with the support of Madvi, those two as a duo, just so deadly for the whole Game Changers EMEA scene. And yeah, it was a better start for Madvi in my opinion, but then suddenly Mary started to heat up, and certainly the MVP of that round, 100%.
207 damage a round. That's almost 2 kills a round, which is quite frankly an amazing stat. That's what you want to be seeing from your top players, your top teams, and going into such a competitive season of Game Changers. So lovely stuff to see. I'm hoping that we continue this on the second map, because of course they are going on to their map pick, so I am very curious to see what they have cooked up for us here as well. They can keep the momentum rolling there as well, because that's, I think, a little bit of the issue, is once they get started, they just roll. But they need to keep up that momentum, because the moment that it starts to falter, you see, you know, the likes of Giant X catching back up, bringing what started as 9-3, you know, back to 10-8, you know? And that's where we need to see the momentum continue over this break. Yeah,
Giant X, an incredibly strong team, and for sure not an opponent to count out here. They can and they should bring a competitive match to map number 2, even though it's a map pick of Falcons. One more stat that I've just seen. Mary not only has 8 first bloods, but only died only 2 first deaths, which is an incredible statistic in my opinion. Only dying 2 times first as a duelist and getting 8 first blood, incredible for her side. And what is left to say about Mary, right? In the end, just incredible gameplay. But in a few minutes, we will see if Falcons can even push this one through in a 2-0 fashion, because we're going into our second map, Sunset. Short break for one of you. Get some water, get some popcorn, because it's gonna be an entertaining one as well. See you in a minute.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. Spike down. 3.
Silent.
One enemy remaining.
One down. My ult's nailed.
One enemy remaining. Spike defused. Defenders win.
Hello and welcome back, wonderful people. We are about to head into map number 2. Map number 1, Abyss, done and dusted. Giant X unfortunately conceding their map pick, but alas, sunset awaits, a new dawn rises for them, and one more chance to try put themselves at the top of the leaderboard, cementing themselves at the top of these standings to kick off the season. Now, Akamask, what would you like to say going into this? What would you like to see different what would you personally like to see? Maybe a little bit of a guilty pleasure pick that you would like to see come out for this map.
A guilty pleasure pick on Sunset. I'm always a Euro enjoyer. It's my favorite agent. I can show something once we get back onto cam. But I don't think that this one is coming out. Oh wait. We're going back to cam. So this lovely fella here exists on my desk. But in the end, it's gonna be an interesting one. I just want to have some, more out of the box thinking for Giant X. I really, I liked the Gecko as a concept, but it really doesn't turn out as well on their side on map number 1. But I feel like Gecko is also an agent that can work out really well on Sunset, much better than it does on Abyss, in my opinion. And getting that Gecko back would be something I would really enjoy to see. Depends on some other options that they might have. Let's see. I feel like this last map came down to aim more than anything else.
There was definitely a lot of instances and maybe a lot of moments conceded as well that were down mostly to aim. But here we are. We see the tie between sometimes you get Neon, sometimes you get Raze. Those are the two main duelists. We're going to get one apiece here. Unfortunately, no Yoru today. Nobody quite feeling that one. The Gecko pick coming out from Eva, that is a staple of Falcons on this map. They love to play the Gecko on it, and it is one of his best maps at the moment. But still maybe not the most popular pick. I like it, however. But other than that, pretty standard. Not too much more to say on that, I'd say.
I'm still a big fan of the Neon on that map, right? It's just an incredibly cool agent to see. I mean, a lot of teams. Oh, sorry. Was too much water too fast. A lot of teams are experimenting with different comps here. For example, BBL has an insane comp with Proximar on that ISO, together with the Neons, incredibly aggressive. Giant X and Falcons both a little bit more the standard play. You could say Falcons more on the old Sunset and Giant X on the new Sunset with that Neon Smurfette. Already aggressive push towards Mary, but the other duelist stays the winner. Mary again with an opener. Just, the same picture as we frame her every time.
Yeah, that looked like it was all aligning for her, but not quite meant to be just there. And over towards A, they slowly call Toki. A well-timed paranoia here could completely halt this entire offensive, and that it does. And there comes out the cage as well. And suddenly everything that they put over towards A, all that thought, all that power has disintegrated a little bit. They have decided to head towards mid. Smoke to clear top mid, make sure that nobody pesky is going to be stopping them as they rush over towards B. And if you have a look at how far Sarah's managed to push, has taken the whole site single-handedly.
Yeah, the site has been taken, as you already said. They have a good positioning in middle. Miori finds Sandra, but Mary, once again, the winner of that duel. Great positioning by Miori, but that stays it in the end. Turns away from that flash, but triple kill for Mary. Counts to 4 as well. Oh, Metri steals this one off. But it's only down to Ness. Finds Toki, but only 40 HP and a dream triple kill for Ness. Make it 4!
Do not hunt the hunter.
Perfect Jin cosplay for Ness. 4 frags to close out the round. Giant X is up because Ness just turns around her performance from last map.
That is insane. The isolation of the fight and the managing to slowly whittle them down as well. The sense, and it was the fact that just the slow crouch jiggle as they peeked around the corner to dodge the bullet. Call them Neo the way they are dancing around them, but that is a statement, and it shouldn't. It's probably a little bit concerning that it came down to that 1v3 clutch, and Falcons shouldn't have lost that. But the fact that Giant X only win it with a clutch, maybe a conversation needs to be had. But that one, that's good for the morale, and that's a good way to kick off your economy as well. So maybe doesn't really matter where it came from.
Especially that confidence play for Ness. Had a mediocre last map, and now incredible start into the second one. Especially good for the confidence on the side of Giant X.
There.
Might have been downed a little bit after that loss. Leaving the B side incredibly exposed. Hearing the drone should give away a lot of information. Mary fights it into Miori. Looks into 2 gun barrels, but finds a frag and gets out. In the end, Eva clears it out, but Miori opens things up for Giant X. The spike's been planted. Fred takes in on the action as well. Sarah, both clear out in market.
Enemy remaining.
It only comes down to Eva. Because Jolina also finds Medvi.
Upgraded to a Sheriff, so this round's never truly over with Sheriff in hand, but this is a difficult one to retake. 4 gun barrels about to peek out, the flash is impeccable, and if Sarah hadn't got the kill, 3 teammates around her to secure the victory there. Nicely played, just a very simple conversion round. They are going to be playing on the bonus here, so they are going to probably be at a slight weapons disadvantage.
Right there.
However, I don't think that'll particularly matter to them. This is the start that we like to see. They struggled to get going over on map number 1. They were down 5 rounds to start with. This is a much better look for them. Miori, I felt for them. I love the desperate running away, but there was no getting out of that one alive.
Now getting out of that angle, and we talked about the bonus round. Coming through for Giant X, but look at the weapons. Like 4 Bulldogs. This is a very, very strong bonus round. And Miori opens things up once again. Toki already dead. No chance to get out of that angle. Eva holds off Smurfette. That's an important one to get, but Medvi also chunked out. Needs to retreat. And Giant X taking a lot of space in front of A.
Smurfette got away with daylight robbery there and provided a little bit of room for team to work. The ult economy is starting to look pretty nice for Giant X as well there. But Neural Theft coming on out here. That is going to provide them quite a bit of insight. Enemy locations have been revealed. They can push on forward and they can bolster Sarah over towards spawn here. Trying to bait out the shot. I would just be trying to get the plant down safely for now. And there we go. Finally coming on through there. It got a little bit dangerous. If the spike had dropped there, that could have been a bit crazy. Ooh, lovely shot there from Jolina. The retake hot on their heels, but the paranoia is so incredible. And Sandra being forced out of that angle. If the breach aftershock hadn't done it, then it definitely would have been the gun. And now Eva left alone to fight this 1v2. The fight could very easily be isolated here. Got Wingman on the case. Actually going to be a difficult one for them to try take him on down. These fights are going to have to come on through. They're trying to take down the Wingman defuse, and it's just not happening. And it's going to come on through Eva. The bodyguard for the little guy gets the defuse on through, and that is how it is done.
Lil Bro has been guarded. Falcons gets the round, but I don't really like the positioning from Giant X. Like Sarah just now moves into CT after the crash got destroyed. And so you already said as much in the play-by-playing. The fight was so easy to isolate for Eva because she can just set the wingman. There's no need to defuse the spike yourself. And then you can just hold off one angle and isolate the fight throughout the box when you know that one player is, in fact, in your own CT already. So not the best positioning for Giant X, but an expensive round on the other side.
Expensive is what you need to be making it. And that is the shot to be making if you are Mary. Lovely stuff coming on out here now. Needs to do a little bit more. The opening pick is great. They've forced them away from this site. They've got them scared. And actually, they've taken a lot of space there. Toki's not seeing anything over towards A. And of course, Eva not hearing anything over in mid. Nade is going to be absolutely lovely. Forces the fight on forward. Unfortunately, they do go an eye for an eye here and end up now with a disadvantage. But Falcons, they are just going to have to give up the sight on this one. Play for retake. And with Toki on that weapon, really needs to find something else to switch to because the judge, not exactly the gun for the situation here. But they're about to walk in. They choose not to plant the spike. They choose to go a little bit more aggressive here. And that is going to be to their demise.
A very aggressive play. Wanted to think outside of the box. But Falcons punishes this one hard. The crossfire and market, perfect. And Eva with 10 HP on the line. She finds another frag, but You know, we are horse riding into the sunset, so Sheriff's coming through.
That goes there.
Might be a far stretch, but that round
Yes, this should. Oh, this is a nice spot.
might be in the hands of Giant X. No, as we always tell, when you have Sheriffs and Game Changers, it's only half of a half buy.
That's the smoke to try keep the fight at bay, but the paranoia that's going to cause some issues is going to be pushed there. And now Toki lines up, needs to get multiple. The fact that she gets 3 is incredible, and single-handedly the round wiped out there. Overwhelmed, don't even know her.
It's okay, Toki. Here, take it. 3 of them going into her, and Toki makes the perfect play. Omen ultimate hard punished as well. And then,
Just holds down the trigger.
just incredible movement as well from Toki. Like, dodging that one bullet and out-moving it.
This goes here.
Just well played by
Chef's
the set of
kiss.
Toki. Chef's kiss. Already said as much, and in the end, it all comes down what you're doing now with your ultimates. 2 real high impact ultimates on the line. For Falcons. Like, there's a showstopper and that Thrash for a retake. You can't just give up the side to Giant X. 100% safest play, because you have showstopper to retake, you have that Thrash. It's, you know, really good retaking stuff for the side of Falcons. I'm intrigued what they're doing with it.
I am very curious to see as well. I'm hoping that we can see a little bit more back and forth this map, and that's looking like what it is going to be. But moments of brilliance coming out from both sides. I really like the aggression, the firepower that's coming out from both sides here as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping that we can continue to see these early aggressive picks that have been working so well from both sides. The ultimates are starting to come online as well, so that's going to throw a little bit of mayhem into the mix as well here. Mids has been a lot more uncontested than I was maybe expecting to see it as well. They've just been directly hitting the sites, and honestly, it's been working quite well for them. Mid's only really been used for the retakes at this point, or for quick rotates to the other side. They've not really been fighting over for it. Full map control at the start. But again, it seems to have been working for both sides. We're even Stevens on the scoreboard. And I'm not sure what more we can extrapolate from that. We are just having a couple of tech issues in the background. Hopefully, it should be fixing. We have an amazing production team who's working hard to get us. And like, talk about Magic, already back. It's like we never left.
Already back, you already said as much. Like, you talked about that mid pressure, and I have to agree with you. Normally, mid is something teams either fight heavily about or not at all. There's like no in between. There's like no in between of that. It's just either hard fighting mid or no fighting mid at all. But Sunset is a map, short rotations, you can retake easily.
Ooh.
But for Falcons decides for a more aggressive approach. Toki already falling down, but trying to punish an A main go.
This was a really nice, really quick rotate as well, because they've managed to get ahead of the defenders. And they've only got 2 people here to deal with. I say that Eva is going to be the one that they have to sort out now. There's Dizzy immediately taken down, and they're trying to throw everything at Eva to flush her out. She manages to get 2 before going down. That's already so much. And they say he's bought enough time for the rotates to come on over. They're actually a little bit slow here, so retake is going to be on the cards for them. Spike goes down. They're not really going to have much space to work with in getting into a post plant. Cassandra is already on their case, already riding their coattails. And now has to pick this corner. Difficult angle, doesn't quite get the clear there. The boom bot coming at them. That's a concerning sort of vision anyway. Mary gets 2, but it's not quite enough. And Sarah closes on out. 3k to defend that spike. And puts on a 4th.
For 1 second, I was convinced that Mary actually wins that fight. Much better post plan from Giant X. Like, we talked about it in the last time where they were in that sort of situation where it was really easy for Eva to just isolate the 1v1s. Now, Giant X learned from their mistakes, peak a lot better for their opposing team, for their teammates. And it seems like a real better sorted out post-plan scenario. Back to Sheriffs
Back to
for
Sheriffs.
Falcons.
Still a scary combination for them. Sheriffs, they've been able to find quite a few nice shots, and don't think they've managed to thrifty any rounds yet, but they've certainly made them expensive and put themselves in a nice position for whatever came afterwards. And it is just going to be a little bit slower of a start for now. Mid, we've talked about how they haven't really toyed with it much. Now is going to be where that changes a bit. The trips are going to be guarding all of the exits from mid, so that's going to be information as to where they might be looking to hit afterwards. They haven't heard anything on either of the extremities, so they're getting a little bit cautious. They've sent that Gecko out to go and have a nosy and a poke. The tripwire, choose to break it, Eva. There we go. That's information that the flank is coming. They know that they have the information, and now they've just sort of funneled them over towards A.
Slowly but surely trying to funnel it towards A. Fault line in hand. This will be an elbow execute. Smurfette already taking a lot of space. A shot comes through as well. Long far the nade stops the entire approach. And with that, they're waiting it out, but Smurfette finds Mary. The opening has been shot. Jelena and Ness doing her same as well. And Smurfette ends it up with a nice track on Sandra. Giant X. Their attack side looks clean. And with that, they win it out against the eco of Falcons Vega. Timeout is starting right now. They looked incredibly impactful for Falcons in the last few rounds, especially on that last map. First timeout coming through, incredibly important here. Yep.
It is looking like a necessary one here. They're trying to keep it close, and they're trying not to have that deficit at the half. I think it's quite interesting to see Smurfette. We're not seeing have the same level of crazy openings going untraded. You know, map number 1, getting away with daylight robbery, with murder plain and clear on the battle site. But not so much on this map. They're trying to find answers for it, and I think that's why we're seeing the map be as close as it is. They're struggling to get some of those openers. But I think this has been very interesting. I'm hoping that with everything going on, that the momentum can be, when it breaks up a little bit, it can be a little bit dry for the players. So hopefully they're all sat. They're using this time to keep their nerves, keep calm, get ready for what comes next. Because, of course, this is, I say it's do or die. This is only third game of the series. Second game of the series, sorry, for these teams.
Yeah, it's not necessarily do or die in the next few rounds, but Giant X need to win that map pick to, you know, really set their sights on first place in that group, right? If you lose it out against Falcons, you have the negative head-to-head, and at one point or another, this will be a problem for you, right? And so Giant X, really important map for them. Just to, you know, avoid an early meetup with G2 in their paths. Because those first seeded teams of both groups will meet up very late in the season. Will meet up very late in the playoffs. To have that late meetup would be important.
Just buy some breathing room in the overall tournament as well. This is a strategic win that is needed here. Mary spots the shot dart, knows that trouble is on the horizon there. The spam through, not quite going to find anyone close. Smurfette, the aggression going hard onto the site here, and has actually managed to take so much room here and surviving as well. No kill to be found, so we're going to have a 5v5 retake. I say that Sandra going to find Miori, taking down their fellow Cypher in the midst. Smurfette, there's one. Going for a bit more, they retreat to main to defend this spike.
Spike's been defended from main, probably the most spammable position in all of Valorant. But now all pure feet rolling Thunder into that main area. Toki ports in there, but Ness finds the steady aim. Dizzy in there as well. Fresh also a lot of ultimates invested. The Fresh stun comes through, but no frags to be found. Everyone is just walking into the meat grinder of Giant X. Mary now finds Sarah. But the triple kill comes through in the end. Ness has to clean this one up. Such a messy situation, but Giant X runs away with the round.
That so easily could have gone the other way there. Down to the 1v1. And I don't know what there is to say that you haven't already. What a round, what a play. And they tried so hard to keep it in contention. Falcons, they're struggling a little bit, but ultimate's available for both duelists right now. High impact, but a little bit of a singular area for Mary. They're gonna have to use that tactically. Smurfette, well, they've been running around this map like crazy anyway. The overdrive is only going to charge the fuel behind the fire there. Now Falcons, they're getting a little bit antsy. They're going for these aggressive peaks and looks, going for the information, and that's going to be dangerous, but both walk away, both parties walk away, all limbs intact.
Limbs intact, no damage has been traded. Terra pushes up A. Side has been left alone by Falcons. Just no Toki re-clears some space. Timing is perfect! Finds Jolina! No more smokes for Giant X, and there's such an important frag to one way! Has been said, but Miori finds Toki, finds the ultimate, and now all the positions known. I know exactly where you are. And with that information, the execute will come through onto that A side. Smurfette wants in that CT area. Fast lane just stops some approaches. If you don't have smoke, you just have to use some abilities likewise. A lot of space created, and Falcons need to retake this one right now. Aggressive play from top mid, but Biori and Smurfette gets in on the action as well. It's only down to Mary and Medvi. Two superstar players of Falcons. Ultimate still in hand. Mary actually uses it. Actually wants to fight in that link area and finds Smurfette, finds the kill. Medvi, has she halved this one, needs to fight left and right, but in the end, Giant X just too good.
Miori's kill there. Miori's kill onto Mary is saving the round there, because the showstopper finds one. That nade, if it had been allowed to fly, would have created so much more space there as well. And it would have isolated the fight. That spike most likely would just have been able to have been diffused. So that kill onto Mary changes the round, peaking at the right time, but lovely attempt from Falcons there. They invest a lot into it. It looks really good, and even on the rounds they're losing, they're showing signs of strength.
Might have just changed the entirety of that map. Smurfette wants to get on side, but Jolina already double fragged in backside. The Omen TP, so good, so impactful. At Omen ult. Such a high impact at such a stage in the game. And it's basically on a save for Falcons, otherwise their economy would fall apart completely. They're retreating to that A side, giving Giant X a round just to save up for their last round, just to get onto 8 and 4. To not let Giant X in the next round go into 9. And what a play by Jolina.
It was incredible stuff. Smurfette popping the ultimate there and not even being allowed to use it. That's or no action. Ran onto site and everyone was already dead. And they're just driving the point home here, because they are trying to take away these final few weapons, make it even more expensive. The spike goes off and they're still hunting for more.
Last round in the half.
Not able to take anything more away, but anything that they can get is a bonus, is just more money in the bank for them, more ultimate points.
This goes here.
And Giant X, this looks like a completely different team to map number 1.
They woke up. And like, normally if we see Giant X in dominating fashion, it's on the back of Smurfette, but right here she's at the bottom of the scoreboard. Everyone is fragging out, everyone. They have their backs on each other. And such amazing rounds from their side. I'm so impressed with that Giant X side. They're improving throughout the whole year. And this year should be the year where they not stop at place number 3, where they want to go all the way into the finals, where they want to fight it in Istanbul.
It is the battle of the battle of trying not to be 3rd place. It seems like a curse that was placed on them. And if they keep showing like this, hopefully 1st place looks like maybe on the horizon. But Smurfette charging on through the spear. the tip of the spear. Rolling Thunder, however, that's a nice little counter there. That is going to put a damper on any sort of plan. They have still managed to get themselves onto site relatively unharmed, and Miori a little bit closer up in their personal space than they would have expected. This is a difficult one because they are going to be surrounded. Is going to be spotted out there by Wingman and lives. Gets a kill, hiding with just the shorty, but that's not really the weapon to be hunting them down with. Now, Spike goes down. Not many people left for the retake. Sandra gets the first. Immediate trade here. But Smurfette switches to the sidearm because they're not just content with the Vandal kills. And gets it done. 9-3. Now, we saw this on the first map, but it was against Giant X. Can we see Falcons make a similar comeback? Or Giant X, will they just surprise us? Because this is a map we said they don't mind playing themselves. This is a map that during stage 2 they played a lot. They beat BBL Queens on this at the beginning of stage 3. They've actually lost to Falcons Mega at least once before on this map, and they're trying to rewrite history, but generally a map that they've had really good results on. And Falcons, they picked it, but it's sure as hell not a certain win for them.
Those rounds are falling in droves for Giant X right now. 7 in a row. Incredibly important pistol round for Falcons. You need to get this one. Otherwise, Giant X will just run away with the game. They want to bring it to map number 4. The curse might be activated. We talked about map 1, 9-3. Is it cursed? Is there something looming?
Something in the water.
Something in the waters. Something looming over that standing.
This is a very weird round now because they've stacked very heavily over towards B, and Falcons, they're just heading through mid, silent assassins in the night there, and they've just managed to escape the timing. I'd really like it if they just leave Toki here as that contingency plan, because that stops Ness trying to chase them through spawn. That gives them the information, and they do look like they want to wrap this site, encapsulate and encircle it. And there we go. There's the important one, but Ness gets the kill, and that's suddenly a piece of the puzzle that's now missing, but they've got themselves onto site. However, Giant X, they've just wrapped themselves back around them, and this is all getting very messy. The plant coming on through, except it's not anymore.
And Giant X holds that side. Miori, the double kill already. No more smokes available for Giants. And Sarah and Ness sprays it down, ends that round. And Miori, the can opener to close this round, to get Giant X to double digits. 8 in a row, and Falcons, they're not looking any closer to solving that puzzle. Miori on the wonderful flash of Sarah.
That goes there.
That is a beautiful flash. 10 out of 10. No notes. Impeccable. Iridescent, some might say. Round number 14. And Falcons, they're running out of opportunities to try and make this match competitive. Their economy in shambles right now, and their ultimate economy looking even worse, mind you. They might not get an opportunity for any of these left in the half if they can't find a couple kills, couple of orbs here. It's looking dire. They still have a chance, though. We've seen what they're capable of. Slowly crawling on round. It's going to be Smurfette here. And it's not the most ideal weapon to dispatch of the situation at hand. However, it does look like they are going to backtrack on themselves.
Just watch us over middle.
Middle Guardian, the angel of mid.
Spike dropped.
Giant X Angel. Smurfette, one of the most prolific duelists in all of Game Changers. One of the most, just for me, impressive players to watch.
Tripwire is cage trigger.
Tripwire has been destroyed. They are all running into the meat grinder of Miori. Dizzy has been popped by this. They are just running through that cage. Miori just rain them down. Smurfette gets in on the action as well. Only 2 kills traded. Eva on her own, and Ness closes this one as well. Giant X completely changed team, a completely changed lineup sort of ways, even though they stayed the same. But map number 2 is their terrain, even though it's the Falcons map pick.
30 seconds left.
This
Steady hold.
That tripwire was amazing because in the time that it took them to break it, 2 of their team had already been fell. And that's what you want to be seeing. Those are the Cypher plays that make him so incredible to watch. And Giant X, they are just ruling this map. Smurfette getting up close and personal. The one way they're actually just going to leave it to the likes of their teammate to deal with. Ness going to hold on tight to that spot. Advanced position and so much information. Mids, they've not really got eyes on, but no one's there. They've full rotated here as well. And this is absolutely the right call and the right read here.
Huge commitment. But they are running into a stacked side. Mary has been taken out. Jolina is there. The timing is perfect. They're just running into the wires of Miori. Smurfette joins there as well. Sarah trades out against Medvi. And it is coming down to Sarah and Toki. So Sandra and Toki. Porting behind Jen. Trying to get at least some space. But the spike is close to Narnia. Managed to retrieve it. But Sarah in the backside. They're so spread it out. She plants this one. Aftershock gets the damage. Only 45 HP for the control on the controller of Falcons. Do they know the positions of Miori?
They don't expect the push. They don't expect the push, and the drone is distracting. Not the right person. It's distracting Ness themselves, and that's the opportunity to push. And now Sandra left alone. Ness and Sarah. Ness gets the kill, and it's messy, but they get it done. And even with weaponry that looked much inferior, the strats, the cooling, everything is coming out GX today.
Match point.
GX just too clean. What a map from them. 12 and 3. Match point for their side against the overwhelming favorites of Falcons.
One enemy remaining.
They maybe have found a method to just fight back.
This is a nice spot.
They want first place in their group, and they're undermining their favorite status here in the Game Changers main event.
It is looking good, and one more round stands between them, and the weapons that Falcons have to try keep this game going, they are dwindling. Giant X, it's only one more round. They've got 12 with relative ease.
Camera taken.
And Haven, they want it. They can smell it. They can taste it on the tip of their tongues. And there's the opening pick for them as well. And Thrash going to be the distraction they need, the entry they need to clear this site. And actually seeing nothing much here. And they know it's free. That spike can go down. Miori, however, notices they're up close. Gets the kill, however. Mary gets one. Sandra with another. And Falcons, they're fighting for it. But it's just Sandra left now. And they are just distracting him. That spike hasn't been able to go down. Still kicking, still screaming. Neural theft coming on through. But 5 HP and a dream to get it done. Upgraded to the Vandal. The Aftershock going to hold them away from the site. Has to be careful not to get caught on the edge of it. Gets the first kill, isolates the fight. But that is it. Jolina watches her team collapse, but doesn't need them. Gets it done herself. And it's a good try. But that is a third map on our dinner plates for tonight, everybody. And let's have a look at the stats here, Akamask.
I'm so impressed by Giants, by that comeback story here. Falcons losing 13-3 against Giants on their own map pick is wild. Like, after losing their own map here, you know, it's not necessarily counting them out, but it felt unrealistic that they win map number 2, especially after the showing wasn't amazing or anything on map number 1, but winning Sunset in dominant fashion, Giant X is back, and in what a way. Yes, Mary tops their scoreboard for the team once again, but on the other side, everyone on Giant X Plus plays together. An absolute incredible team performance. 13-3,
that's the way to get it done. And let's have a look at some more of the stats there. No thrifties to be seen yet, but 9 out of 10 post plants. That's amazing. That's you can't fault it there as well. Post plants, Falcons, they only had one opportunity to post plant. By the time they got into a half where they could make it happen, there just wasn't many rounds to work with. They got the spike down once, weren't able to defend it. A clutch from both sides, although many clutch moments coming out from players on all sides and all teams. But your MVP for this map is Miori. We talked about her last map. So incredible to see it kept up as well.
Yeah, I kept it up as well. 81 casts is also great for Sentinel, you have to say. And this is gonna be an incredible one as well. Like, next map is gonna be Haven. A little more on the defaulty side, right? A little more of the default pick map. And it's just gonna be an incredible one once again. We see it 13-3 on Sunset. Still a little bit shocked of that result. Giant X, like, incredible performance from their side, and I can't just, I can't overstate how impressed I am with their team performance, especially playing all together, right? It's not just one pop-off performance. They played together as a team and not just as individuals.
Yep, and that's what you want to be seeing as well. We talked about map number 1. The mechanical aim of Falcons just drove them, pushed them over the edge on the victory there. And then map number 2, it just looked so cohesive. The reads were incredible from Giant X, but there is only one way to decide which of these two teams is going to be the one taking that top spot in the standings. And that is going to be a map number 3, Haven. Map 3, 3 sites. You've got to love it. The stars looking down. The sun is shining, but we're going to head to a quick break, give everyone a little bit of a rest, calm down from the excitement before we wrap this series on up one more time.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Clutch. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
And with that break ending, welcome back to the VCT Game Changers EMEA broadcast here on DivE. My name is the Lakamask, and next to me is the Great Affinity. And with us, we're gonna have to say it, the great Frenny also in our chat with us as our producer today. Give some love to him in chat and to the whole production crew overall. They're doing great, and you know, it's just nice working with them. DivE is a family, and it's just great having them at our sides. And what have we just witnessed? Giant X winning 13-3 on Sunset on a map pick of Falcons.
Yeah, I don't think many people expected that to be the outcome, especially after how map number 1 went. Map number 1 felt that Falcons always had the upper hand, and that wasn't even their map pick. So it felt like when we came into Sunset, everything was set on a path that they were going to take this series 2-0. And then out of nowhere, 13-3. There's just nothing that Falcons can seem to do right. Everywhere they go, Giant X is already 3 steps ahead. And now Haven is the map to decide it all. I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out, because it's not a map that either of these teams particularly play an awful lot of. So if we have a look at Giant X, they didn't play Haven for the entirety of stage 2, and they haven't played it thus far in stage 3 either. It's just not one of the maps that we get to see a whole lot from them. They don't really float it as a decider. They don't ever pick it. They just don't play it. So I'm very excited to see this and what they have to offer here.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. Haven is more of a fundamental-based map normally. You tend to have the fundamentally better teams winning out on those maps. It's gonna be a real interesting one to see, especially with Falcons struggling so much on that last map. Like, it's a team that loves to play off of Mary's entries and afterwards, you know, commit onto certain areas. And this wasn't really possible on that last map because, like, yes, they had the information, but Giant X was so far ahead and inside their heads that there were just problems with playing off those entry kills and problems with playing off those entry situations overall. And I'm curious of how they're gonna mix up things right now. We are heading into that agent select next, and I don't think we're gonna have a lot of surprises necessarily.
I hope so. Oh! Well. Talking of not a lot of surprises, they heard you yapping and they decided absolutely not.
Can we have camps again?
I
just wanna express my love for that Euro pick.
That's
on
not what I
Yoru?
was expecting. Yoru, okay. I see
that's
you
a banger.
clicking. It's a banger, and they've bought the Gecko back out because we talked about this. This is it's usually a staple of Falcons. As Giant X has decided this is their agent now. They have laid claim to Gecko. But yeah, the Gecko coming back out. The Yoru, okay. Viper, I think, a very nice idea. They're going for the double smoke there. I'm not sure how they're looking to play that, but it's gonna cause some issues for Falcons because, you know, you're not going to get as much impact from the likes of your utility if it's just the fog of war covers the whole site.
And also, like, the combination of the double controller plus Euro is just so impactful because Euro is one of the best agents to just go through smokes with your flashes, because those Euro pop flashes on close range are just incredibly good, especially combined with a teleport into some more distant and remote areas. And I love the comp from Giant X. I kind of gotta say it because it's just so much play potential, so much play making potential for them overall. I love to see this one coming out. It's kind of a little bit of old Haven with the double controller setup mixed up with newer ideas with the Gecko and the Euro. I also love the aggression from Falcons right now. Courtyard completely cleared.
Is, and they've heard nothing over towards C. They've seen nothing over towards C. And actually, Falcons, they've got to have some clue that this is where they have been funneled. And Actually, a very difficult fight on the hands of Eva and Mad V there. If they can get a kill, or if this fault line could be devastating for them here. And look at that, the opening pick, it doesn't even come through because Mad V's taken down immediately. And they look at that and they just stomp the site. There's nothing really that can be said. They had such a good setup, and if that fault line had come through even a second before the death, that could have put a damper on the plans and sort of eased the pressure up. But Last Falcon's difficult retake now.
I actually like that trap play a lot. Doesn't really come through in time. Once you see the gun barrel, you need to commit on that fault line, but it was a little hesitant from the side of Madby. Something fairly unusual for that Falcon squad. Sandra jumps into that box and finds Sarah, but who has found who? Right here, because Sarah converts it into that triple kill. Giant X wins another pistol round. Falcons down again.
They're on fire with these pistol rounds. They won. I'm trying to think how many. They lost the first pistol round. I think they've won every other pistol round. So they're now 4 out of 5 with 1 more to go. And that's a nice stat because these pistol rounds are so influential. It kicks you off on the right foot as well. It's going to award them a lovely buy coming on into this. And Falcons, a couple of sheriffs. I say a couple. A sheriff out on Mary. I'm wondering whether they go for the same level of aggression, but that smoke grenade is going to make it definitely more concerning and less wanting to go for it. Does have a peek. Head taken clean off her shoulders. And Smurfette going for some more kills as well, but no one wants to show their face after watching that happen to their teammate.
Smurfette so aggressive. And I gotta say, so impressive as a player once again. Interesting comp from Giant X. Works out fairly nice. The Viper wall also cuts up so much space. No options to really peek from that long angle. No options to peek into sewers. And also cuts the map in half at the B spot. Interesting setup. Plays there. The wingman now plants the spike. Fights going into CT. Smurfette ports out once again. So no option to fight. Even more spike has been planted and retake will come through from CT.
There we go. There's the paranoia. It's only gonna blind the bot, but that is all that it needs to do for now. And look at this. They try and clear back through Garage, and it's only going to be to their detriment. They've managed to keep them cornered in here, though. Trapped and penned in, and they're going to pen in another round at the top of the scoreboard for themselves. Their second round conversion. Nice and clean. Nothing too complicated, but they get it done. And Falcons, this is where they need to turn. No one has thus far been able to secure themselves that third round off the bat. It's always been a matter of 4 or 5 rounds going by before it even starts to look competitive. But hopefully, the curse, the streak, going to break here.
Yeah, as you already said, trapped into that area. But and Giant X gets up once again. Yori picking up the Guardian. Also, like, the bonus round looks great once again. Like, yes, Bulldog's not the cleanest of all weapons, but especially against small shields, they tend to have a chance. And especially once you get onto site, options are there for the side of Giant X. Dizzy comes through as well. Wingman has been down. The spike out of reach, but Julina opens things up onto Toki. Almost smokes for a retake or to just hold the site. That's the numbers advantage for Giant X. They can't trade themselves out.
Difficult position for them to be because the spike has dropped in a really inconvenient location for them because they're now going to push onto site to retrieve it. And they manage all okay. And the bot, the early warning, Canary and Sarah, amazing kill there as well. And now stomping their way through Garage. They don't want to be silent about it. Let their presence be known. Miori holding for this flank and it's perfect. Mary taken on down. That spike going to be planted. 0 contests there. And Mad V and Eva, not really much that can do. Probably having a look at saving, especially with where they've decided to plant. Planting for long is a difficult one to clear out, and considering they've got nobody ready and available over towards spawn to try and alleviate that pressure, it's just going to be the save call, because money not in an amazing spot for them.
Smoke's available as well. Jolina can just re-smoke the one way on that box, and that's spike plant. So hard to clear. Miori has pushed right into the enemy spot, right onto enemy lines. They just let Jolina hold that spike angle.
Nerd.
Miori has been taken out by Madby, but that's it. Now into the heaven area. Sarah ends the round. All of Falcons fall. No economy save up. Falcons have a problem right now.
They certainly do indeed. And the momentum Giant X are feeling from the last map seems to have just rolled on over and is rolling through Falcons. And now Falcons got to find an answer, and it won't be this round likely. Maybe they can find a couple of kills, pad the ult economy a little bit. It's not going to be much. Just a bandage on what is currently a gaping wound, however. They can try find some damage, a little bit of impact here.
Impact is the name of the game. Mary has
The name of the game's
pushed.
Valorant. Sorry, that was awful. That was awful. I apologize.
Why are you doing me like this? We have been casting for the first time. Why are you doing me like this?
That,
No,
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
We can't have nice things, right?
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best.
Mary has the spot to bring around, but now gets two frags!
Spike down A.
Just clears out lobby. Ness and Sarah both are falling down. Only traded for one. Toki. You know, Mary does with Giant X what you just did with me. So
Just wiped the floor with an incredible performance, some might say. I would like to say I am joking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the emotional distress I've caused with my awful dad jokes. It will happen
Player
again.
standing.
Talking of things that will happen again, headshot after headshot, back-to-back shots there. And that's a nice round for them to win. I was saying that that was a round that they were kind of out for the count for. They had nothing really to defend this. But Mary, 2 shots, beautifully done. Toki with one of their own there. And you can see it in the replays, just hitting their marks.
game changer sheriff moment, right? If you have
Sure.
sheriffs in this event, it's a full buy.
This goes here. I need this.
Miori gets another weapon, and Giant X still up 2 rounds.
This is my spot.
It's been the
Who's
cursed
next?
round number 4 on the horizon for Falcons. They win this one. A lot of information taken by Smurfette.
Plant a spike.
Sandra has been known. Spike should have been planted on that seaside. A lot of space taken. Everybody gets on site, and they will just play it for the retake. Oh my god, but Wingman misses the Q. And that's such a hard position to defend. They need to get Spike off there. And Mary gets the lurk into the backside, finds Miori. No more Sentinel available, and the Spike position isn't the best one. Wingman not cooking this one up.
He did not cook. He burnt. And unfortunately, that's the gamble with Wingman. And look at that, just at the wrong second, pulls out the gun, but not in time, is taken down, and suddenly the side a little less green. Smurfette tries to find something, but they find a bullet to the dome. Hunter's dome coming on through to defend that plant, because it's been tapped, and they're getting nervous. Sandra finds one through the smoke. Jelena finds one, but an immediate call to response from Sandra, and the defuse in the meantime, in the background, cannot be stopped. And Falcons, they saw how map number 2 went, and they refused to let themselves have a repeat of that.
One enemy remaining.
A lot of it comes down to Wingman not finding the default plant. Like, it runs next to that box. And with that, they had to recover the spike once again. Sarah had an unfortunate
This
timing
is
with
my
the molly in hand.
That goes there.
And with,
This goes
and with
here.
that, Giant X only up 1 round.
Oop, not quite able to shoot Dizzy in time there, and is going to get a face full of goo, but nothing to come off the back of it other than Smurfette finding that little bit more of an advanced position there. Hoping to catch somebody off by surprise, perhaps. The rest of the team, they crawl towards Garage.
Going their way towards their fast execute into that area.
Here.
Wanna execute on seaside once again, but now to retreat. Might come through. Jolena this time holding the angle where Mary came from. Don't giving her another look. Look where Smurfette is already. Like, that positioning. Incredibly aggressive as well.
They're just not expecting it. It's going to be a little bit of a bait and switch. They find Smurfette, but they get immediately bamboozled by a back shot, and now that is going to be it. That is a lot of space, a lot of information, but Falcons, they've managed to get themselves
30
onto
seconds
site.
left.
Actually, they've just sent a wingman over with the spike. That's a little bit dangerous, some might say. However, Blunt, this time, going to be successful. Good job, little guy. And Sandra jumps down, this time not immediately plucked out of thin air. And Toki ducking and weaving between their own smokes. Miori still trying to fight their way out of Suez. It's a lovely shot, but that spike defuse is still going on through, and no one's in a position that they can contest it. They have the angle, but they couldn't find the right spam through the smoke. They even get the kill in the end, but it doesn't matter because that spike being defused, that is the win condition.
Incredibly, incredible play by Falcons, because they took so much time in the main area that they couldn't just... Like, there was no holding the spike for Giant X. We see it here once again, like the opener of Mary. Like, just a good trade, but at this rate, they hold him off in the main so long. No way to rotate off that. Everybody trapped right there because they need to get past the Falcons players. And with that, another round into the pockets of Falcons. 3 in a row right now. Giant X need to get some new ideas. Fresh, long way out to side, and Smurfette finds the opener. But Madby trades out against Ness. The Fresh can't be recycled. Opener by Smurfette, great. But Falcons equalizers.
That's all they need to do for now. Battle of attrition. Spotted the gun barrel, but unfortunately jumped around the corner. But there is an immediate trade comes on through, not wanting to let this slip through their hands. Now they're fighting themselves on site. These flashes, we talked about them being incredible pop flashes, and it's all a distraction to get themselves down long. And that is an amazing stun. It's going to stop anyone trying to contest this. It's going to take a life away and a piece away from the chessboard. However, the jump peak, they see that the defuse is coming on through. They have to go for it. It's been halved, and there's plenty of time left now. And Eva gets both kills.
And Falcons are back. Last 4 rounds have been pure gameplay by them. And that's the side of Falcons that we wanted to see coming into that series. But in the second map, they weren't available as much.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
Finds the track, but they can peek for each other. And now there's a timeout for Giant X. They have a lockdown to invest. Same goes for the dimensional drift of the Euro. A lot of information and a lot of space to be created. But will they use it on that round? And where are they going to use it? It's gonna be a real interesting one, and the timeout will probably be used to talk about exactly that. And especially next to talking about the ultimate usage, it will also be used to, you know, get some playbook strats out, how they're gonna play it with their economy right now. Because they are on mixed buys, and do they want to do that? Or are they going to save it up for the next round?
Timeout here, I think, is quite a nice one because we're at a turning point. We're getting towards the end of the first half. If they could try find themselves a little bit of an advantage, because this is where they have the benefits here. They're starting on attacker side, and they need to rack up as many rounds as they can. And they've got the ultimates, as you said. It's about how you utilize them best in sequence with, in harmony with how your economy is working as well, because you've got a lot of ultimates a long way off now. They have the guns to be able, the money to be able to buy on this one, so they need to make this round work.
Harmony plays on Friday. I had to get back onto you, right?
I was going to say, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I have to get one back. I had to get one back, right? But yeah, execute comes through for Giant X. A lot of space created by the dimensional drift. That B side is up for the take, and good positioning.
Found them. Alarm bot down.
For both sides, the alarm bot. So much info. Eva, Mary, Madby. All of them pushing from that A side and running into the gun of Miori. They need to be cautious.
such a nice position because they can just jump out and surprise. I was hoping she'd just sit there and wait, but it doesn't matter. Bring the fight to them and drive the hammer down on this one. But Sarah getting the lineups ready has been defended, and now this gets even harder because those lineups, they will not miss. And with that smoke as well, the decay is going to cause some problems, but they managed to get it done as the Molotov fades. So there's nothing to stop them out of nowhere.
As the Molotov fades, Falcons flood the side and get another win. Giants falling apart one by one. No, the only ultimate that has been used was Smurfette's one. Only the dimensional drift was in play. Still a lockdown available. But on the other hand, look at the ultimate economy of Falcons.
It's incredible. They do need to use these ultimates is the thing. I feel like a lot of these ultimates, we've seen them they've built them up for a while. They're not using them. But now, only a couple more rounds left. You have to be careful. They're not going to be able to build these back up. Mary having a look, making sure that there was no sneaky little peeks up above. And no Dizzy going to be blinding her this time. Now Smoke holding them off. As it fades, Mary just going to spam away, covering fire, warning shots that this site has not been left unprotected.
What are they able to do on the side of Giant X? Mary, once again, the same push as always, but it works! Once again! The aim on Jolina is clean!
That's...
And Mary opens up so much. Can Mary do? The lock is in good timing, but 1 second later and it would probably have created much more space. Jolina tried to rotate off. No spike plant has been committed.
There's the first kill. Smurfette, the first piece of the puzzle to fall. Sarah came next, but Ness, back-to-back kills to try keep themselves fighting, but unfortunately the rest of the team crumbled around them. They will be the last to fall, and 6-3 is the name of this map. Don't try and get me back with that one. I saw the hesitation.
I'm not going back for that one. I got my revenge, okay?
Got your revenge.
We are fine.
Ooh.
There you are.
We still got a half and a bit to go, my friend. But 6-3, this is a nice scoreline, and they're still not committing these ultimates. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. They don't really need them because they've been winning the rounds without them. And hopefully just saving them for a final explosive round, I guess, waiting for the right moment to expend it. Here's the Yoru teleport and is now very paranoid, and Toki going to be caught off guard but still wins out the fight. Ness with another one, and that's Wingman trying to plant down the spike and not going to be able to. Hunter's Fury is causing problems. Now 1v3 location now known, and it's a difficult fight, but that spike still hasn't gone down because she's got a clear line of sight directly down long towards it, but this is not going to be one they let her walk out of alive. All it takes is 2 peeks. This crossfire, insane.
Yeah, Miori, kind of in a Camp Crystal-like situation. You gotta come back to the campfire and all of your friends are dead. 3 players of Falcons just waiting to score that final frag. Miori just looking straight up too many barrels. Get this one out, and Wingman once again missed the Q. Like, are they trying to go for that last one? Or are they trying to go for that behind the boxes blind? Or are they just missing the Wingman on the plant? I'm a little bit confused about this one. But in any way, Falcons, round number 7 in a row secured. And they are just running for another 9 and 3/2.
The Rolling Thunder, that's an exciting one because that is a large AoE that they can clear. All it takes is 1 more ult point. The clone just going to be completely forsaken for now. There's no reason to even give it a second thought. They slowly creep over towards a toxin screen comes down, and suddenly a little bit more work that needs to be done. They are going to back away. They've had a poke, they've had a prod, they've decided this isn't the vibe.
Poison's off.
The vibe, Sarah. Perfect once again on their way to B. Courtyard completely taken by the side of Giant X. On the other side, Mary pushed through long. Mixed up the positioning. Normally she was in sewers all the time, but is she aware for Miori? She got 2 nuggets out! Miori unable to trade her teammate because Mary is just too strong.
You did good.
Shoulders too big. Attacker side Killjoy needs to be used just to get
30
a
seconds.
hang on that side. Because Mary is just too strong of a player. Jolina down. No more smokes available.
Oh yeah! Monster on the
Easy to play this one from heaven.
Spike planted.
And Mary finds Miori as well. The recon dart. Gives so much information onto Nas, Medvi, and Smurfette trade each
Player
other.
standing.
But Toki finds a kill as well into that CT area. It's all on S's shoulders, but it's too much to lift. Round number 8 for Falcons in a row, I have to say. Giant X fall apart once again.
It started so well, but that's the issue with losing Jolina so early, is that ultimate, what it kind of did was it backfired a little bit. Jolina goes down. That ultimate forces them off site, but they have that path up into heaven. So of course they're going to head up there, but they've got nothing to cover them from heaven. So you've given them the high ground, and any Star Wars fan knows that it's over once you get the high ground, right? They have a whole line of sight of the whole, they have a whole line of sight of the whole site. And suddenly the ultimate, you've got yourself onto site, but you've put them in a position to pick you off one by one. Difficult one to handle there. Dizzy shot down immediately. Mary has been waiting for it every single round, and they are stopping them even approaching A-Long.
That abilities are also just portable high ground.
Exactly. Poor boy.
That's why she's so strong in the game. Yeah, Europort onto side. A lot of space has been taken. Ultimates are going to be used by the side of Giant X. They have control over the side and the Viper's Pit. The most important part, but there's a Rolling Thunder on Madvi. Everything on their table to re-clear that side, to take B into their own hand. The execute has been called. Trying to get into courtyard. Sandra finds Miori. Her counterpart is down. Ultimate has been taken. Toki with an operator just peeks around that corner. No ultimate needed. Sarah all on her own, in her own pit. Sandra closes the round at the half. 9-3 once again. Cursed territory for Falcons.
Not your
For the last 2 rounds. It has been the 9-3 team further taken.
Maybe the real 9-3 curse is us. Maybe we are the curse. Considering that every single map, you know.
Maybe this is on us.
Yeah, this one, we'll put our hands up and take responsibility for the curse this time.
Sometimes
But,
you need to take
Yeah, map number
responsibility
1, Abyss, which feels like ages ago now. 9-3 at the half to Falcons. Map number 2, 9-3 at the half to Giant X. And actually, no more rounds to be found for Falcons after that. And now we finish 9-3 for Falcons once again. Do we see history repeat itself a third time, or do you think maybe Giant X, they can actually bring this one to a tie?
Toxins going up.
Important pistol coming up for both teams. We always talked about the strength of that 9-3 standing. Eva and Matvi equalizes the standing after Smurfette had an incredible opener. Falcons are back once again. Are they trying to push Smurfette, or will they re-clear some other areas? Courtyard has been taken. No more areas in the control of Falcons Vega. Moving towards Seaside.
Yeah, there's not really anybody home here. That wall could cause a little bit of trouble for them, but if they get ahead of it, there's a little pocket that actually works quite well for them. There's the sonar dart, and that's information. As you can see, everyone is going to come hurling on over towards C. Oki is going to get the plant in the meantime. Jolina just trying to decide whether or not she wants to disrespect the smoke, and that she does. jump on out, and suddenly the spike's down, but so is half of Team Falcons. And now Sandra left alive, checking that camera, and nothing left to check now, and that smoke's going to make things even harder. The paranoia just catches the edge of her, forced back, and now Jolina is just going to hold this, ever the fearless defender of this plant. And now Giant X, they secure themselves yet another pistol round. That's 5 out of 6.
Giant X just too strong on pistols, but what was that peek by Jolina? Just hopping out of the smoke, right-clicking all 3 bullets into the dome of her opponent.
Spike
And looked
planted.
so good for Falcons, but like Jolina and Smurfette, just incredible retake. Full counter on that defensive setup.
Yep, full counter is precisely what has happened. Lining up the same wall again. Try cut up mid and garage. Give them a little bit less that they have to try defend there. They have just decided to head over C and A, leaving the alarm bot to handle mid. Euro teleport over, reinforcing that C site now that they know that there's presence long. They've got to have some semblance of an idea that pistols are on the table and on the equation for Falcons, because of course losing that first round, they don't have the money to do very much right now.
They kind of expected the Max Verstappen on that C side, but it looked more like a Lance Stroll because they're retreating out of that push. Let's see, re-hitting towards C through garage. Will they find some contact? There is still a lot of people on that side. Important round for both teams. Miori finds Mary. Wanted to get through that wall. Sarah and Miori just holding that side clean in crossfires, and in the end, Sandra, last one standing. Pistol in hand will be rough to do anything more.
The bloodbath that was, and again, there wasn't much to defend it from the likes of Falcons, but topple they did. Camera immediately shot down. None of that here, they say, and Sandra's kind of backed into a corner here. Not really much of an escape route, and that's going to be the one to get the killing blow.
Giants important 2 rounds. That bonus now would be a nice thing to take if they're able to. Guns doesn't look too shabby. At least 3 bulldogs on their side. Need to fight some more close combat fights with Miori on that Spectre. It looks like they want to play an aggressive game. Smurfette already in sewers. Smoked off, no way to get through this one.
Here.
Retreating onto side. After some noise, they're canceling it out once again. Falcons dwindling down some patience, waiting for pushes from Giants.
Exactly, they're not giving them anything, because if you give them an inch, they will steal away a mile. So just happy to sit on their hands and hope that Giant X play into them, make the first move, and thus the first mistake. But that's not going to work, and at some point you have to take the initiative, because you're the one that's on the clock, not them right now. And slowly they creep through sewers. Eva is going to be the first one to take contact. Sonar dart immediately going to locate Jolina, running them on down. The paranoia comes on through, but there's nobody to benefit off the back of it. It was a last-ditch attempt to try buy themselves a pocket of air, and that is not going to be the case. Toki shoots the clone and gets flashbanged by it, but backs away. Evo ready and waiting to take up the mantle. There's the pick. And Sandra, one on the other side of the map. They can go anywhere. Sarah, she puts up a final stand, but is going to fall. Spike goes down anyway, and Falcons hits double digits.
Double digits for Falcons. At a point in time where we didn't necessarily expect it to be, especially after the start onto the map, Falcons just winning 8 rounds in a row. Jacks need to find a rhythm again. Come back at here. Important, incredibly important round. But Giant X couldn't make it expensive for Falcons, so it will be full buy against full buy.
That it is. Orb going to be collected there by Smurfette, now only one away. Jolina, there's the pick, off angle, lovely. Backs away, not willing to give them an answer. And that's something that actually, you've got to give Giant X a lot of credit for. Smurfette was pretty good with it on map number 1. Didn't see it as, well, we saw it actually quite a bit actually in map number 2, with getting those opening picks and being able to get away unscathed. Because if the immediate trade comes through, on defense, that disadvantages you. If you're 4v4, it is still a massive advantage over to the attackers. However, put themselves in a nice little position. They've got the player advantage. They've still got the map control. And they forced Falcons to reevaluate their plan.
Yeah, it's about discipline, right? You need to be disciplined to find first frag, just retreat. And look where you can fight something else, Sandra! Trades herself out in the middle as well, but Ness has the upper hand and keeps that lead on living for the side of Giant X. The dream is still alive of a comeback. Spike has been planted, but what is it worth? Alarm bot in middle will spot out Mary once she takes a flank. And it's gonna be a full retake off of that link area. Hunter's Fury has been taken by Eva. Can she find the damage from Toki? In the meanwhile, gets a triple kill, fights everyone that tried to crash from CT.
Eva.
What happened that Toki gets so much damage and so many frags?
Eva had spotted one out with the Hunter's Fury, was desperately trying to find a kill with it, and Toki said, absolutely not, these kills are mine. You see these? All homegrown. And now, yeah, Hunter's Fury, it did the heavy lifting. Toki comes along and just holds the trigger, gets 3, secures himself an 11th. Giant X, they're slowly watching their chances of taking that #1 spot in the group away, albeit there is plenty of time left in the season, even if they can't get today, but there's got to be lots that they have to learn and review off the back of this.
Linking Park comeback worthy efforts needed from Giant X at this point.
Yeah.
6 rounds behind.
Timeout being called, I think, is quite a nice one and needed, because there's not much more that you can do. There's not many more rounds that you can use this on, and there's no point clinging on to it for dear life. Like there's one timeout, like a buoy in the midst of the sea, right? There's no point hanging on to it. You need to use it to have this discussion because you're running out of leniency and contingency rounds. You don't have the ability to stress test anymore. Every round needs to be you fighting for your life and for this series.
Fighting for your life, clawing back into this one. It's gonna be a hard one for Giant X, even with the timeout. Even with the additional discussion time. Also, Falcons just so matched on that scoreboard.
Yep.
It's just been a team effort for them. No pop-offs. Just pure team play. And this will be such an aggressive mix-up. So much more speed compared to the past few rounds. And they just find Toki. And they just find Miori out in the open. Toki, another frag.
Drone's not going to spot anything, and that is going to be the call for action. Dashing onto the site, nobody to even stop them. Plant in the corner, nice and safe, means they can just retreat back down main. But they've got issues. They've got trouble in paradise because from behind the Yoru lurks. There's the flash. There's Dizzy as well. They are desperately trying to clear this out, and there might be a little bit of trouble for Eva on the horizon. Can she handle it? She dispatches with the first. Sonar dart's not going to spot anything. Sarah handles the second. There is an immediate trade comes on through, but Sandra just going to hide in the corner, using this opportunity to duck back away, find a bit more safety to work with. But that timer so low, and there's just not the people, not the resources to commit to this. And Giant X, they watch his map point daunts above them.
Map and match point for Falcons Vega. It was an eco
point.
for the side of Giant X, but it's map and match point right here, right now. One more round to go potentially for Falcons. Giants, after that second map and the start into this one, look poised for success, but Falcons just said no losing for us. The comeback would be so rough here.
One enemy remaining.
It's difficult to watch. It hurts to watch a little bit because Giant X made such a good showing over on Sunset, and it looked like when they started this map off strong that they had just continued on the same foot. But no, this is not the team that we saw, but still chances available for them. Nest with the opening pick, immediately answered. However, more still to come here. Sarah ducking and weaving between bullets, between the smoke and the boxes. Jolina finds another pick. Mads, they're ready.
One enemy remaining.
Sarah from the backside coming through, finds those frags and Smurfette, and she just cleaning up the side. What a play from Sarah. Just swinging from backside, 2 frags in an instant.
That's what you need to be getting if you want to keep this up. 6 in a row. They need to double their total rounds won to even dream of overtime. But nice individual performances there. And they have got themselves a little bit of a round to take a second. The economy isn't great for Falcons right now. They are having to eco here. The ults are available for the likes of Giant X. However, Falcons, they are investing into this. They've not got the best resources. They do still want to close this out. Smurfette already in the back lines, and people haven't even really left spawn yet.
Sandra finds the frag, Eva as well. Just some trades coming through. Smurfette once again in the enemy spawn, finds the damage and finds Eva. Great performance on that Euro, but is it enough to clear out the round? Because it's even standings and game changer sheriffs. We know how devastating they tend to be. They're not clearing that corner. Not seeing the angle, not finding Toki. He gets another frag, but ports out right into the arms of Miari. Opened up her arms for the frag and for the round. Giant X, perfect once again. Finds another round, and 5 are theirs for the taking. Falcons, another match point.
They keep themselves fighting. They're not willing to go down unless they are kicking and screaming. And Falcons, they've got 5 more opportunities to close this one on out. They have the Rolling Thunder, big ultimate available for them. On the flip side, Sarah has that Viper's Pit. Now,
Live to die another day.
live to die another day. I like that. That's a good one.
Ultimate ready on the side of Sarah. Will pull it instantly into that sewers area. Don't give Falcons more wiggle room and time to play around.
Here.
Going through a mid. We've not seen them have a full assault on mid in a little while now. You can hear the camera clicking. Now this is a heavily trapped site. They've left it guarded by only Killjoy's inventions. There we go. Only one Molotov is going to be able to be set off, but that is going to halt them in their tracks. Now, smokes come on through. Toki trying to find somewhere to plant. Not quite sure if it's fully safe to do so yet. And that Viper's Pit has been expended elsewhere on the map. And suddenly Giant X, a retake on their hands to keep this series going. Sandra just having a look, having a wait, can tell that that was the drone, so knows that there is a Yoru not far behind them. And this fight is going to be important. sees the flashes, can't exactly see, but isn't cleared, and it's going to be a struggle, that one. Dodges the fault line, and there's the cage as well. They slowly whittle Giant X down. There is an answer, but that timer, the beeps are getting faster. Spamming away. Madri gets one. Toki gets one as well. Eva finding one of their own, and Miyori trying to get a ninja through. The smoke is denied. And that is going to be the game and the series. Falcons, they take it 2-1. And it's a little bit messy. Giant X, amazing showing on map number 2, but they can't bring it together once more to try secure themselves the series. Commiserations, but Falcons, what a showing.
They can't bring it home. What a showing from Falcons on that last map. Especially what a mental fortitude. After losing out 13-3 on the second map, we all were like, maybe Giants can do it, but in the end, it's only good for one map. The matchup delivered. No doubt about this one. We hyped it up as sort of one of the best matchups to come out of VCT EMEA, the split, and it certainly delivered. Great storylines, great hype, but in the end, Falcons just a better team and winning it out. And we especially need to highlight Toki versus Sarah here. Sarah probably the better individual performance, but look at the scoreboard of Falcons. So close to each other. All of them are just, you know, on the same page, playing together, and as a team, they were just better today.
Shall we take a look at our MVP of the match? We've got Sarah versus Toki for the head-to-head here. The ACS on both of these players is looking incredible, but Sarah, 261, that is a sight to behold there. Cast, however, on Toki, looking snazzy, but both of these players, awesome stuff coming on out. Both massive credit to their teams as well. But let's have a look. A little bit more detailed statistics. Post plants looking good for Falcons. They were looking really good on map number 1. Map number 2, we'll call it a little bit of a write-off. They only had one plant situation and it didn't particularly work for them. This one's looking a little bit nicer. Giant X, they've struggled with post plants a little bit in this series. Something maybe will come up when they do their inevitable VOD review, but the first kills, that's something that you specifically talked about at the start of this map.
Yeah, like, Smurfette took a lot of them, but you see the big problem of Giant X, in my opinion. Like, the big problem on this map, and that's a 6-round difference, were the post plants, right? You can't secure every post plant, but only 3 out of 9, that's a bad statistic, and in the end, that must improve, especially on Haven this time. They had a great showing in post plants on the second and third map, the first and second map, but on Haven, it all just kind of fell apart, especially on the attack after having a good start, right? They started 3-1 against Falcons and suddenly just fell apart in the snap of a finger, and Falcons found themselves, found the arena spirit, the arena, you know, something just changed in the minds of their team, and winning it out absolutely convincing fashion on that last map.
So let's talk about what this means for the overall leaderboard and standings right now. That puts Falcons number 1, puts them at the top of this leaderboard in their group there. And this means that Giant X, they're still in a really good position. They're now tied with Valiant. That might change over the coming days and weeks as well, but it's still a good start for them even with this loss. They would have liked to take the 2-0 there, but it's a good start. However, Falcons Vega, we have a look on the other side. The person that's looking like their opponent, G2 Gozen. How do you think that this series today would look up against the current G2 lineup right now as well? Do you think this is a good showing? Do you think that maybe it was a little bit too close and the G2 Gozen still looking very strong? Do you think they are still really, really, really contending for that win?
I mean, they are contending, but to have the mental fortitude to jump over the hump at BG2, there might have to be some more steps, because we saw G2 dominating every of their opponents in the last few days, right? And they were just incredibly strong. And yes, Giant X is probably the third strongest team currently in the standings and also in like overall of EMEA. But I think to beat G2, there need to be some more improvements. Especially Abyss was too close and too shaky for comfort on Falcon's side. They're an amazing and great team, but it was too close for the comfort. But currently, you know, it's a little bit of a Cantina Band situation where play the same song once again. Falcons and G2 are up in their group with the close out of week number 1. One day later than we expected, but week 1 is finished, and G2 and Falcons are back on top where they want to be, and after those performances also where they belong today.
Exactly, and there's still plenty of games to come as well. Those leaderboards, even though it seems like this was maybe the highlight, the highlight of the group, and this was the match to decide who is going to come out on top, there is still the potential for that upset and for that first place position to be taken off of them. So Falcons, they have to stay vigilant. However, that is going to be a little bit of a conclusion for this week. Let's have a look at the schedule, however, for what's coming up in the future for Friday. So, Falcons versus Heroic, interesting match. What are your thoughts?
Falcons versus Heroic, it's the last place team versus the first place team. Heroic kinda needs to win this one out. And it feels kind of weird saying this because Heroic lost to Valiant and BBL, and if they want to have a shot in staying in contention, they kind of need to win versus Falcons, and this is going to be a really, really hard thing to pull off, right? Falcons, great showing today, especially against the side of Giant X that is incredibly strong, and I don't want to set the pressure too high for Heroic, but they need an upset in the next 2 match days to have a chance to close the season out on a high note and get into the playoffs.
Exactly. Could not have found better words to use myself there. But that is going to conclude us for now, however. What an amazing series as well. Absolutely delivered. Going the whole 3 maps. All maps being 9-3 at the half as well. Almost poetic there as well. However, that is going to be us done and dusted. Do you have any parting words for us, Akamas?
Yeah, we will be back on Friday. I will, for myself, commentate the alternate attacks versus Outrun Out series. Probably already the decider of who is going into playoffs if Attacks wins this one. If Outrun Out wins this one, it's going to be a little bit more complicated and come down to the other match days. But we had a great match day today, even though it was 1 day later. Thank you for everyone on chat. You guys kept it entertaining as always. Much love goes out. And yeah, be back on Friday. We will have a break day now. Should have been 2, but you know, sometimes you need to do something a little bit later. It was a pleasure casting with you. And with that said, our broadcast is over for today. Much love for everyone in the chat. Have a good evening, and we will hear from each other on Friday.
One enemy.
Obstacle ready.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
Blocking vision.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. Spike down. 3.
Silent.
One enemy remaining.
One down. My ultimate. Nailed.
One enemy remaining.
Spike defused. Defenders win.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Clutch. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Seconds left. One enemy remaining. One enemy One enemy remaining.